get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast.
Thing doing? What? Yeah, his. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he just dove. Oh, oh my gosh. Hold on.
You ever see a duck beat up a bird like that over its nest?
Oh my gosh, he killed it.
I once saw a crane
Never seen that.
shoot in and pull a fish out of the pond, right, like literally in front of me. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. That was a vicious murder.
Yeah, and I've seen some ducks or geese attack, especially by the daycare. They used to be the daycare where we used to go. Oh my, yeah. I never realized that they would get like that crazy. So like I saw that video, I said, oh no, I gotta show Joe this. Like this is crazy. The fact that like what a geese would do for their young, because I guess it was like a nest over there, and like.
Well, you know what's funny? When you first sent the video, I watched it for like I didn't get to the whole thing, and I stopped it, and I was pulling all the other videos, and then I'm like, what the hell's up with that geese? What is that? And I went back and I watched it, and I was like, that's awesome. I have seen. I mean, geese are very territorial too. Like in Hubbard Park in Meriden, as a matter of fact, back in my hometown, there's geese in the pond. And okay. I have. If you get near their spot, whatever their spot is, if you cross the line, I've seen them chase people and bite at them and stuff. They're a mean animal. I don't think I've ever seen an animal murder another animal
so diligently. Like it was like peck, drown some more, peck, and it was over.
But usually when an animal kills another animal, they eat it.
Yeah. You just let it go.
He was just like, I'm killing this motherfucker out.
I'm saying, like that, like in the old days, how they used to pin the heads on the stakes. All right, y'all try this again. This is exactly how you gonna. Let's see here. We have gooses at the bar, and gooses y'all like that. Oh, okay. See gooses like that. I'm all set with that. I'm all good with that.
Yeah, I tell you right now.
Don't mess with the young, man. Don't mess with the young.
Don't mess with geese, period.
Period.
Bad idea. I can tell you that right now. I've been chased by a goose. They're relentless.
Yo, yeah, they don't stop. And you know who else doesn't stop? We don't stop. Welcome, everybody, to I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is your host, Rob Benjamin, and my co-host, Joe Aguirre. It must be Monday night because we are here at 9 p.m., 9-ish, as I always say, you know, how we do. But, Joe, what's up, brother? How you been?
Good, real good. I went to the doctor today. My blood pressure is at heart attack level, and I'm able to maintain that stress level here so well that it's not actually killing me. So that's good.
So maybe we'll try and keep the rage down on both ends.
That's my
today.
thought. Yeah? I've been trying to be a little more zen today, and then somebody says something stupid, and as a matter of fact, I talked to my mom after my doctor's appointment, and my mom literally said to me, I watch you on a lot of those podcasts, Joey. You get very upset and you're ranting and you're raving. Maybe. And I'm like, because people are stupid.
Stupid.
What am I going to do? Just sit there quietly?
No, you gotta let it go. Like that's one of the things that I never really, not always never agreed with, but never really agreed with to the point where like you gotta let people talk, you gotta let people finish. No, if you have something dumb to say, I have to correct you because we have to stay on path with the right stuff. That's just how how I always felt. I'm not saying that like the way I feel is right, but like let's stay on path. Let's not like deter somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Yo, so I'm trying to come on earlier. Do we think 8 o'clock would be better? I have to like barter with somebody to get that 8 o'clock spot. So if I can get that 8 o'clock Monday spot, yeah, because I'm getting old for this too. Like by the time we end up out of here, I'm like, geez, it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock by the time I get home in the morning, and then I usually have to get up and work.
Yeah, well, you know what it is. It's those people don't even understand. But after the show's over, we
do a whole nother show
meeting.
Yeah,
and, right. I mean, and we're like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. And we have like a whole nother show.
And you have to try to leave my neighborhood at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's tough.
You know, hopefully my best wishes with that is like they start to learn just the black car, the sole black guy in the black car, and they're just like, it's Monday night. We know who that. We don't know him, but he's okay. That's what I'm shooting for at this point. Oh man. So speaking about cars though, guess what? I had another incident at the school this week. Matter of fact, today actually. I'm saying this weekend. It's Monday, right? Yeah. So, matter of fact, that's two. So, from our last podcast, I had 2 incidences, right? So, here we go. I brought it up how everybody, nobody knows how to drive at the school. Nobody knows how to stay in line and, X, Y, Z. So, here we go again. Boop, 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 boop. Number 5 in line. Literally, the person in front of me, like, we're at the there's a crossroad. You come down a little hill, you bust a right, there's a school right there. It's a dead end, pretty much. It's just school. Like you can't go anywhere else. You bust a left, and then there's a whole long ass line of cars just waiting down one street, down the other street, into the main road, right? Makes like a little U, right? If you think about it. Anyways, so here we go. The guy in front of me, he goes. There's 2 cars. One car recently just pulled up. The other car pulled up after me. So I don't care. I'm before you, or so I thought, right? So what did this lady decide to do? Literally, as the person in front of me goes and says, "No, you're not going in front of me," I start moving pretty much behind them. They literally cut me off as soon as I get almost hitting the car. Once again, the passenger side. Where's the kid's car seat and the back side? On the passenger side. Putting my child at risk. Putting your child at risk. Just because you don't want to wait in the back of the line, I'm sorry. Get your ass up early, just like me. Drag your ass into the car and get moving. I don't feel bad because you're taking one child. You might have 5 children at home, but you're taking one child. Time management, people. I don't get mad when I wake up late or he's starting late and I'm gonna be crushed. Guess what? I sucked that day. If you suck that day, take your L and get in the back of the fucking line, Joe. So you know what I had to do? I actually was that parent today. I Karen'd the fuck out of them. I took a picture of both vehicles with their license plate, and I told the principal.
Good for you.
Because I can't, as a black man, as a big black guy, just approach these parents. I'm going to be the threatening one. Everybody's going to think that I'm being the crazy one. And also, if they have a husband, I don't trust people nowadays. I don't want it to be that, right? People are crazy, you never know, but yeah, definitely. I was being a Karen because that shit pisses me the hell off. Yes, if that's what you want to call me, I was a Karen today. I sure as hell did, and I had a nice 5-minute conversation with the principal in front, and everybody had to go around me, and I didn't care. Did not give. Goddamn right, JT. I told the damn principal. Fuck them damn parents. Because next time, if somebody puts me or my child in my vehicle and not even the vehicle, I even told the principal that. I said, it's not even a vehicle. It's just the fact that you're willing to put the lives of children at risk just because, not just my child, your child as well, just to get in a car accident because you want to cut in line. So, yeah, at that point, I'm grown. 30 plus years old, we're going to the principal. Now, if the principal don't do something about it, then guess what I'm doing? I'm going to the cops because it's a public road. And I'm going to make sure I report every day and I send pictures until I can get a school safety officer or a traffic officer every morning. So that way I can enjoy my 30-minute wait while dropping off my son in the morning. Frank, guess what? Snitches get stitches. And guess what? I have some damn snitches on me today if they can put them on me.
Let me tell you something to you guys that are complaining about this. you're especially like JT. You're too young. You don't understand. And Frank, you're a good guy, but you don't know what's going on, buddy. When you get to be this age, you're supposed to rat people out. You're totally you totally are a Karen. We don't generally want to be telling everybody that, Rob.
Exactly. You're supposed to be a Karen. And like I'm not in the streets. I'm not a thug. I'm not none of that shit. Guess what? I'm a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen that holds people to a certain standard. So if I gotta wait my black ass in line, so do you.
You know what I would have done?
What's that?
I'd have just walked in and I would have said, "Hey, listen. I hate to even say anything. But that lady, like that's what I do. Like I don't want to make any.
You can't snitch, backdoor snitch. Yeah. You got to let it be known. I wanted everybody to know I was snitching.
I don't want to make any trouble for anybody. I'm just saying, if you guys want to do something about it, that late, like that's how I would have played it. Because right away, when you play it that way, people like you get them fired up because you're like, look, there's probably nothing you could do about it, low level employee, and they're like, yeah, watch me. You're like, well, I mean, maybe you can. I'd love to see it, and then they're like, I'm going out there. That's how you get shit done.
But I think, I agree with that too. But I think at the point, like the principal has heard about it so many times, like they've put out emails and like did like distro and all this of how to drop off and everything like that. But I think she's probably just done hearing it. But, I mean, once again, I can't just be the aggressive black guy to get out the car and be like, what the fuck? Because then they're going to be like, yeah, that parent is crazy. Meanwhile, they don't see the parents, like, literally trying to play bumper cars with you. What was that old school PlayStation game? Twisted Metal. Literally, that's what it feels like. Twisted Metal. Yes. Trying to do that. But did you fill out a hurt feelings report? No, they're gonna fill out a hurt feelings report when I start cussing these fucking parents out and start using language that they don't appreciate. Then they can go fill out hurt feelings reports, and that's the same thing. Like, that's why I'm doing this, because I just can't be me. I can't get angry because you're literally putting the life of my child in jeopardy. I have to go do Karen shit. But if it was a true Karen could have probably jumped out the car and and they were like, okay, she makes a point. It's true. So, anyways, so that was kind of like, that was one of the interesting things this week. Let's see here. It's been so much bullshit on the news between so many different killings, and we're all going to get to that later. The kind of the theme of tonight's episode, if everybody didn't see, is like, what's accountability? So I guess we'll kind of get into that, realistically, right? Because what accountability has been big on my mind, especially the past week, just as a whole theme in life, right? Especially in the world today. So before we deep dive, was there anything else you wanted to kind of address this week in the madness? All right, cool.
Well, no, you know what? I mean, I like the thought of accountability. I think. For a lot of people, obviously, the way the George Floyd thing worked out, people are feeling good. So good, in fact, that, maybe racism's cured even. Like, that's how good it is, at least in somebody's mind. I know we'll get to that a little bit later on, but accountability is important. And, right, I mean, at the end of the day, nothing brings George Floyd back, but I think the greater good is, did we finally get this right? Is everybody finally on the same page and they understand the difference between police work and just murder? I mean, are we there yet that we get it?
Unfortunately not. And a lot of the issues this week kind of prove that, right? Fortunately, we've seen Derek Chauvin get charged. Well, not charged. He's been found guilty, right? All 3 charges, and you kind of spoke on that. But even then, we still have to see what the judge does, right? We have to see what kind of time he gives him. Outside of that, we also have to see, now what the other officer gets. That the Kim, whatever her name is, I'm not even trying to put effort into her name, but literally that happened miles away from that, and there's a bunch of other instances, with that. So. Have we finally gotten a little taste of like justice? Maybe, but then now, right? So both them James, the brother that was killed in Texas by Amber McGuire, the cop that entered his house and shot him, just entered his place. She's literally filing for an appeal now, and it's looking like she can definitely get some time knocked off. So you're like, but here we are, right? Here we go with all this. I'm trying not to get worked up tonight, right? But here we go, right? She did so much time. Well, she only did a little bit of time, and then the judge, was so sympathetic, gave her a Bible and a hug. The brother gave her a hug, but she literally just walked into somebody's house and murdered somebody. And now they're like, yeah, we might be able to give her some time off. She's eligible for that because they gave her whatever, like negligent homicide or manslaughter, whatever the case may be. So you're just like, is it really truly justice? Because she's allowed to even appeal this right now. Like, she literally entered somebody's house and murdered them. Like, just not even, you know what I mean? So it's just like, we'll see. We'll really see. But accountability, right? Definition of accountability. The fact or condition of being accountable. Responsibility, right? That was the Webster dictionary, so I'm sorry it doesn't. It feels like it defined a word with a word, but accountable. So when I think of accountable, like, yeah, being responsible for your actions, right? So if somebody says, hey, Rob, did you do this? If I did it, I'm owning my shit, right? Own your shit. There we go. Let's put it in, layman's terms, right? Owning my shit. Yes, I did it. Wanted to give a couple examples of accountability that I believe. So that way we set a nice baseline, right? We set a nice baseline and everybody can get an idea of what accountability is. We'll go with the first one. Here's a good example of accountability in Nigeria, where the Nigerian army finds that one of their own counterparts have given intel to like a whole nother group that they're not supposed to. And one, as we watch this clip, I want to see if everybody agrees with how they handle this accountability. And then two, well, yeah, really just that, like, do we agree with it, and also two, do we think that this should be something that should be used, kind of like, kind of in America. So we'll see what this looks like. And yeah. Smack the shit out of him.
Oh,
yeah. So for everybody that's not watching, they're stripping him of. So we've got a Nigerian soldier. He's just been smacked like a couple times. They stripped him of all of his gear. It looks like they about to put him in a truck, to be honest, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they got him handcuffed, and yeah.
he's going into the trunk.
They're putting him in they're transporting him in the truck. Now, I don't know if you're making it out. Now, I don't want to assume or sound ignorant, but in my mind, when people go in the trunk, you probably not coming out alive.
Rob, if you ask me to go for a ride, and you're like, yeah, just hop in the trunk. We'll be back soon. I'm not doing it. I'm
not doing that. Oh man, so that was one example, right? But it was good. So I played that because imagine if the cops in our country treated their own in a certain, held their own to a certain standard and accountable for their bullshit actions. Like, hey, you're making us look bad. Your actions are putting our blue shield at jeopardy, right? So now, instead of when I was in the military, it was policing your battle buddies, right? Police your own. So if you're policing your own, you have nothing to worry about. Imagine if the public sees now police officers doing this kind of shit and smacking their counterparts upside the head and putting them in trunks. How many officers you think gonna want to do some dumb shit? Right. I remember in basic training when one of us fucked up, we all got fucked up. And then guess what happened? After we all got fucked up, the drill sergeants walked away. And that's what we called group therapy. This issue was fixed. So, like, I love that kind of accountability. When I saw that, I said, great. Especially when they smacked the shit out of him a couple times. I said, oh, yeah, they about to do him dirty. And hey, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see here. So the guy betrayed his country by giving information to another country. Yep, pretty much. Forget making someone look bad. How about just valuing life and sticking to simply your job? Touche. All right, so let's go to the next example. So now, Toledo. There's an example in Toledo of accountability that I wanted to show. Here, let's not play it yet. I want to kind of give a backstory. Can we pause it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the video is, and you'll see, a brother is getting about to get stopped and detained, right, for a open container law. But then something happens. A couple things I want to point out before we hear and watch this video. Watch how he holds himself accountable, right, to the point where he's like he's working with the cops. He's not like resisting, but he's being a smartass. But then at the same time, how the cops are being like, I loved it, right? The cops are like, hey, there's stuff going on. We just have questions. You already know you have an open container. And just the interaction was cool. And then at the end of it, when something happens, watch the reaction of the guy who had the open container. I thought it was so funny. And just the sound. So here, let's play it.
I would think you would realize we're gonna stop.
Exactly. I'm 30 years old. I've been over here since I know what y'all gonna do. That's why I said it.
You got your ID.
What does that matter? Am I being detained?
Well, absolutely. You got an open bottle of liquor. I could cite you and arrest you.
I said, am I being detained?
Yes.
Do you see how he's trying to hold the cops accountable? He knows he's wrong, though.
Yeah, that's what I just asked him. He said he's being detained, so I need your ID. I didn't hear that part.
Listen to his explanation.
Because y'all, of course, y'all know I have the right to speak.
Yeah, I'm right. That's a question, but
I'm
yeah,
not about to go.
you.
I'm not about to go in all in too deep until y'all get to getting too deep. You know what I mean?
What is
I'm about to give you. You know, I really don't.
Is he smoking a blunt?
Oh, shots fired. So, shots have been fired, and this dude is like, now what? He just standing there calm as shit. Yo.
Oh, wow.
So I was cracking up. Yo, my man was like, yo, now what? He ain't move, he ain't flinch. And they go on to like catch the subject. We can stop the video here. Because it's stupid long. But Buddy was super still. He was like, yeah, now what? He ain't move. He was talking shit to the cops. And he's, you know what I mean?
That was great.
That was amazing. So the accountability on both parts, him owning his shit. Hey, y'all caught me. You know what I'm saying? But he was holding them to their shit. You're not gonna do me wrong. I might have some street laws mixed up. You know, my street laws might be mixed up. But hey, that was a great interaction. Great interaction.
I got pulled over once.
Oh, another time?
I've been pulled. You know, can I tell you something? You would think I was a minority if I told you how many times I've been pulled over in my life. It's honest to God, in excess of 30 times.
But you know that's crazy. No, if you tell me that you've been pulled over 30 times and I didn't know you, even looking at you, I'm like, oh, you're definitely white. You tell me a black person that's been pulled over 30 times.
That's crazy, right?
Or even a Hispanic person. That's crazy.
I get pulled. I mean, anytime a cop gets behind me, I don't know. Maybe I act weird. Maybe I get all tense. I don't know.
I've always wondered that. Like, do they go off of like body language, which I'm sure they do sometimes, but I don't know.
They must, or maybe it's because I'm like, look, nah, like adjusting the mirror.
Keep looking back at it. Is he there? Is he there? Is he there?
They see me reaching under the seat. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I get pulled over a ton. It's crazy. But I got pulled over this one time by a state trooper. I gave him my license and registration. Well, my registration was expired. So I gave him my license and my expired registration and my insurance card. And he came back and he was like, hey, like your registration's expired. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that. He goes, well, listen, I just got called onto another call. I'm gonna let you go here. He goes, you can't take the vehicle though. You're gonna have to call somebody and have them come pick it up. I go, absolutely. He goes, we're on the honor system here.
Wow, you guys got an honor system? That's awesome.
Well,
and you broke it.
It was awesome for me. Yeah, the honor system. Bro, you don't know me. You basically were like, you broke the law. I need you to turn yourself in. Bye. What are you, insane? I'm not doing that.
That's a get out of jail free card. I'm using it.
Yeah. Dude, I'll never forget. He was like, we're using the honor system. And I'm like, fuck off. I didn't ask for this.
Fuck your honor system. I'm out.
Right?
You should have grabbed me when you had the chance.
Right? That's how it works, buddy. First chance I had to run, I'm doing it. What are you kidding me?
Oh man, that's funny. Well, at least you have at least you can hold yourself accountable for pulling the wrong actions, right? Let's hear Frank real quick before we go to the next one. Frank says, "Look, I got pulled over about 2 years ago for running a stop sign. When the cop came to, God damn it, Frank, we need you to speak English, man. When the cop came to my car, I was just laughing and told him, "Yep, you caught me, and there's no way I can even try to talk my way out." He gave me a ticket anyways, but told me to take it to court, and her would dismiss the ticket. I saw him. Hold up, is this a her or a him? I mean, not that it matters, but you said." She took and her would the judge would dismiss it. I saw him in court and he dismissed the ticket. Oh, okay. I don't know.
It makes you go to court though, right?
Damn, that sucks. They did, yeah. And you know what? That's crazy. That whole I wrote the ticket thing is bullshit. Like, oh, I already wrote the ticket. I give it to you. No, you don't. They don't have to give it to you. They don't have to give it to you. I wish I had a good story where like I got pulled over and matter of fact I got a letter in the mail for a ticket. So talking about tickets, a few years ago, like 2014, I want to say I was in Georgia backwoods somewhere and literally got pulled over. It was like New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve coming back. Got pulled over. It was a speeding ticket, and the person in front of me was going like fast. Like they went around me and was going. It was like must have been a speed trap. Anyways, long story short, I thought I had like covered the ticket, paid the ticket, or whatever the case may be. I got a letter in the mail talking about, hey, you need to from a whole attorney in a whole different state saying, hey, we have this ticket that you need to settle up. And I'm like, but you're not even an attorney, so I need to give them a call and see if it's legit or not, because they're like, yo, this is your third warning, and I'm like, I only remember receiving one of these.
Where'd you get this?
Georgia.
Okay, so I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay.
I in 1997 got pulled over in Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost certain it was because I had a Yankee cap in the back window, like driving through Rhode Island. I was asking for it. He got me going 65 and a 50. I was like, are you serious? 65 and a 50? Who does? Like,
he's an asshole.
I wasn't going any faster than anybody else. Like, clearly I was being targeted. And so I got the thing, and I sent it in not guilty. And I got a court appointment Monday morning, June 29th, my birthday, 9 a.m. in Providence. And I was like,
not good.
The chances of me being in Providence on my birthday at 9 a.m., slim and none.
Yeah.
And I never showed up. And I 6 months later, I got like a failure to appear.
Yeah.
And like there's an arrest warrant. And I'm like, come get me.
Come get me.
Come get me. And so when I told you I lived in Maine, and one of my dear friends was the head of the police association in Maine.
Yeah.
And I had him run my stuff and nothing came up. And so about a year later, I had moved back to Connecticut and I was driving, got pulled over, and the cop told me there's a warrant for your arrest in Rhode Island.
Oh, shit.
I was like, what?
What?
Yeah. And so I did. Here's what happened. There's a national registry, Rob. Rhode Island wasn't on it at the time and didn't get on it until 2004.
Oh, I need to find this registry.
So again, when they get into the national database, if you've got a warrant out in any state,
it's up there.
Once that state's also national, any cop will see the warrant and you're in trouble. Now, my cop was super cool. He's like, you're going to want to call the state and get it worked out with him. And I did. It cost me about $1,000. Oh, yeah. You got to pay the old fine, the new fine, and then like some administrative fees or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I think honestly, it was like $800 out of pocket. It cost me.
I need to call them tomorrow. I'm scared. I have two important phone calls to make tomorrow.
I get that taken care of quick.
Yeah, buddy. But anyways, I think it's so since we're talking legal stuff and people who need to get things taken care of, let's go ahead into kick and crab fight, because I saw this fight and I said, holy shit, they're all going to need legal fees. And it goes into accountability because I first want to lead by an example, right? I want to hold my people, and I'm putting this weight on my shoulder, right? I want to hold these people, my culture accountable for these kind of actions that we can't be doing these things. Like, we can't go into public places acting this way. So, like, everybody that acted this way in this video, I hold them accountable. I want to hold them accountable. Yes, they need to be pressed charges against. Yes, they need to have whatever restitutions paid. They need to have all that done up. So let's get into this video. It's crazy, but I have to hold y'all accountable. Full blown out fight. Look at the chair. Look. Boom. And there we go. It's always the chair with the black people, man. Like, this look like a nice restaurant too. They cleared the whole restaurant. And Joe, I'm telling you, I got a word for these people. And you're not gonna like it. I got a word for these kind of people. It starts with an N and it ends with an S. And there's an A in it. Not an E and an R. Y'all you'll figure it out. JT says, my kind of party. Man, I'm telling you, like, we gotta stop acting like this. Like, I don't know where the hell this was at. It looked like at like some it looked like at like a Mexican restaurant or like some, you know, South American restaurant. And like, it looked like it may have been a birthday party, but like, it looked like two different families in there throwing down pre 2000 or like, yeah, pre 2010 or not, pre like 2015 and prior. I definitely would have been like, hell yeah, my kind of party with JT. But like, going to the accountability, like, and growing up and maturing, like, this ain't it. No, nothing in, like, outside there's nothing in this world that literally could have made me, unless somebody like disrespected somebody and like grabbed my sister or did something like that. But I don't see, not, you know what I'm saying, nothing right here. Like, not in public, not in like not in public, not at a restaurant like this. Like, they cleared the whole restaurant, it seems like. The argument, tacos versus burritos. You know what? The argument probably could have, and that's funny, the argument probably could have been the splitting the bill. Now, I could see the fight getting that far when it came like splitting the bill and somebody was like, yo, no, I didn't fucking order 20 chimichangas and a bunch of like tequila shots.
Can't be.
Why not?
Here's why I'm going to say no. You're not throwing a chair if it's an inter-party fight.
You don't think? Oh, you haven't been. How many black people? How many cookouts you been to? How many black parties have you been? Yeah.
Still waiting to attend my first. Would you guys throw chairs at each other?
I personally wouldn't. Now, if
you hold off for strangers,
it depends. No. It depends what side of the family. Like, if you're talking about like my Midwestern family, like my Michigan family, I know a lot of them mugs will throw some chairs at their own family members. I'm not putting it past them. I'm not at all. And I'm not putting it past some of my family members here either. And I'm not putting it past me at a certain point in the right situation. Like, for example, if for some odd reason a woman in my group was like my sister or like my mom or something, and somebody did some disrespectful shit, like slapped them on the butt while they were walking to the bar, and then was like, I don't give a damn, bitch. Still da-da-da. And I'm like, yo, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, fuck you and your mother and your whole family. Then you're probably going to get a chair thrown at you. Because at that point, you just pissed me off. But I don't know if that happened. I don't foresee, like, that's an outrageous situation.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with those kind of people, I don't talk to those people after a certain time. You just, you know, it's hard. Like, no, it's not hard. Like, it's hard to justify this. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm trying to hold these people accountable. So I hope everybody got arrested that was fighting, that was doing all this. Sketchy, what's up, brother? Sometimes you need to get bucket wide out with someone. I fought people bare knuckles in Michelin rated restaurants. You can't let people.
Rated restaurants.
Sketchy always with the top tier comments, man. Can't let nobody disrespect you no matter the location. I feel you, Sketchy. I feel you, brother. You know what? I want Sketchy on my team. I'll take Sketchy on my team any day, brother. That's hilarious. We were talking about this. Matter of fact, we were at the me and my brothers were watching the UFC fight. And I'm not a big UFC fan, but anytime my brothers are together, I'm just there, just for the fellowship. And then we're talking about just how just the impact of like how one of the side conversations during the fights was the power of the chair. Between wrestling and then, there was a whole Boondock series episode on chair throwing, and then the amount of fights that we've been in, i.e. actually been in or have seen and chairs have thrown. So yeah, between concerts and other parties, yeah. So the power of the chair is very, very
real quick. Speaking of the UFC fight, Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman. Now,
Usman.
Here's how racist Florida is.
Oh, God. And they were in Jacksonville, by the way.
See, right on. And so Jorge Masvidal, if you know anything about him, actually used to fight in Kimbo Slice's backyard. That's where this dude came from. He's a bad motherfucker. Literally, that's the belt they gave him in the UFC. Love the guy. I knew he wasn't going to beat Usman because Usman is, I think, the best welterweight of all time. Now, here's the thing, Rob. He's from Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
He's lived in Texas since he was a kid. He's an American.
Yeah.
And yet, a lot of the times during his fights, in support of the opponent, you'll hear the crowd chant, USA, USA. And it's like, that motherfucker was on the Olympic team for USA.
You stupid
Just
idiots.
because he's a black-skinned guy who carries a Cameroon flag, he's an American. You guys know that, right?
And there's a difference between like nationality and culture and all that. Like, I was having this conversation with somebody before. They were like, and they were saying, a Jamaican friend of mine, he was saying that African Americans can be so blindsided to think that it's just black, right? Like everything is just black. He goes, I have cousins that are Chinese, that are Jamaican, that speak better patois than me. He goes, there's white Jamaicans, there's Asian Jamaicans, there's, Middle Eastern Jamaicans. It's, Like, we're classified by a land that you were born on outside of just your culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of it being the Jamaican culture, like, though, the same, he was like, my Asian cousins or my Chinese, cousins, they eat curry goat, make curry goat, and, rice, all that stuff just as much, oxtail just as much as we do. It's a culture thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that makes very sense, They're like, and he was saying that even, when he talks to some of his African friends, his Nigerian friends and stuff like that, they're like, African Americans aren't the brightest because they kind of have a one-track mind that's like, we're the best kind of black people in the world because we're American, but we're not the best because we had slavery, but we want to empower our roots, but we still give a certain stereotype to certain cultures. I said, damn, it was a really deep conversation, and it was really based on just accountability, right? And just how we all got to hold ourselves accountable in, certain cultures and ethnicities and talks and spaces like that. Sorry if I went on a tangent. I felt like it kind of a little related.
No, well, again, let me just one more time. Florida, the racism. Zhang Wei Li, who was the women's bantamweight champion.
I wanted her to win. I was rooting for her to win.
Did you see how they booed her? Because she's Chinese.
And I said, you know what? And you're in Florida and Jacksonville. I said, this is the fight that they've been waiting for. America versus China, and then America won. And
I love Thug Rose. I didn't think Thug Rose was going to be able to beat Wiley. You could see that woman was very affected by the booing, and I found out afterwards she was like, I'm the champion. Why were they booing me? I don't.
Damn.
But, and again, just so you know where Florida's at, Valentina Shevchenko, Russian. They love her. They were chanting her name. So they like Russia. They hate China, and they don't like the blacks. Florida,
typical Floridians.
In a nutshell.
Oh my God. Let's see here. Let's pay some bills. We'll go ahead and get everybody's accounting right. I don't know. I know we're getting close to the day, the extended tax day. So make sure you guys are putting in your getting your taxes done. If you haven't already, get that follow that extension if you need to. Maybe like me, But I think May 15th, mid-May-ish is when
May
the new
17th.
There we go, May 17th. See, I had you 2 days early. There you go. But make sure you guys hit up Rocky Hill Accountants and get your taxes done right.
Rocky Hill Accountants offers a unique, low-pressure approach to professional and personal services, which is why they have an excellent client retention rate and are extremely proud of the high-quality services that their firm provides. The executive team at Rocky Hill Accountants has over 35 years of combined experience in income tax preparation, bookkeeping, accounting, and IT crypto tax. They specialize in individual income tax preparation, as well as trusts, estates, and gift tax returns. The tax deadline for individuals is May 17th. If you're one of the 50 million Americans who still hasn't filed, visit RockyHillAccountants.com.
I'm 1 out of 50 million. I'm 1 out of 50 million. I'm 1 out of 50 million.
Rob, I'm vaccinated and my taxes have been filed and I've already gotten my refund. And thank you to Glenn from Rocky Hill Accountants. I'll tell you what.
You're a true American citizen. Look at you.
You got to do what's right. I got my vaccine because it's the right thing to do. And here's the other thing. I mean, if you overpaid and you're owed a refund, you're floating the government alone. Why would you do that? Go get your money from the government. Here's the other thing. Hire an accountant. I mean, like, you got to hire an accountant. They know how to find all the money that you're owed. If you do it yourself on, like, Tax Turbo or whatever the hell it is.
You get nothing.
You don't know what. You're not an accountant.
Facts.
Do you want more money or less money? Hire an accountant. It pays for itself. Matter of fact, they could just take the money right out of what you're getting. Do it.
Sounds simple and easy. I'll let you guys know next episode, as I call them tomorrow. That's on my list of like adult things to do. So I have like a job application to fill out tomorrow and to call Rocky Hill Accountants. So make sure you guys hold me up to that too. Like, put in the comments, hey, did you do it? You know what I mean? Hold me accountable for taking care of grown-up, mature things, right? So I know we have some people that were super waiting for Yep, That's Racist, and Yep, That's Racist is definitely on fleek this week. I don't know why I said on fleek, but we're definitely popping with America's racism today. We have 3 major topics. One that's, diving into Lindsey Graham, our good old buddy Lindsey Graham out in South Kakalaki, right? First and foremost, Lindsey, damn, yo, I want to say, I wish this was the 90s because I want to call Lindsey the bitch word so bad, but then everybody's like, you can't call him a bitch because of his name being Lindsey. Like, if this was the 90s, I could call him a bitch and it would be, you know what I mean? It would be okay, but I don't want anybody canceling me. But hey, Lindsey Graham, you wear extra small panties from Victoria's Secrets. And I wish that you get exposed. I mean, you expose yourself every day, but I wish somebody slapped the fuck out of you, honestly. Like, you're a piece of shit. So, recently, Lindsey Graham decided to, appreciate it, JT, yes. I can't call him a bitch. Yeah, you know what? JT says I can call you a bitch. Lindsey Graham, you a bitch. Anyway.
I think the appropriate term for Lindsey Graham is he's a dandy.
A dandy? Okay. So, we'll go with dandy. Lindsey Graham, you fucking dandy. You dandy, you pansy, and everything else. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. It wasn't meant to offend you. All disrespect to Lindsey Graham. But recently, Lindsey Graham decided to pretty much like publicly address or publicly say what we all know what he's been thinking the past couple years. That like racism is not real and like, he's just gonna, pretty much, what do they call it? Green gaslight. He tried to gaslight America and say, hey, racism's not around. I learned that from my sister because somebody told me I was gaslighting them before. And I was like, I don't know what the fucking gaslighting is, right? But then they explained it to me. So, Lindsey Graham, straight to our faces on America, and we're going to play the video in just a second, said, hey, systematic racism doesn't exist in America. America's fine. We're not that kind of country. And if you guys don't believe me, watch this fucking video. Watch this bitch, Lindsey Graham. Tell it.
Senator, is there systemic racism in this country in policing and in other institutions?
No, not in my opinion. We just elected a two-term African-American president. The vice president is of African-American Indian descent. So our systems are not racist. America is not a racist country. Within every society, you have bad actors. The Chauvin trial was a just result.
Can we, Lindsay, can we first and foremost?
I mean, he went with the "I have a black friend, so I'm not a racist" excuse. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
And then he tried to tie in the Chauvin trial, like that was like the biggest. Hey, this is the come out. First and foremost, you can't just because the fucking Constitution says we can't elect a black person. You know how hard it was for us to get a black person into office, and you know how hard it was for us to get a half black person as a half black woman as a vice president. Here we go. Yeah, a bad actor. So many bad actors in this fucking country, right? But what about his side of the bad actors? There really is nothing better than white people assessing the temperature of racism. Thank you. That's exactly where I was going. Nothing better than a white person telling me that there's no hatred against black people, when guess what? All I see is hatred against black people 24/7. Making gay s'mores starting with Lindsey Graham cracker. I love it. I love it. And y'all know how much I love the LGBTQ community, but that was a fucking funny joke. I'm sorry. Anything against that fucking bitch-ass motherfucker, Lindsey Graham.
The only thing that Fox does funnier than ask the Lindsey Grahams and the Mitch McConnells of the world is when they get like the old racist dad from Duck Hunters. What was that stupid show?
Duck Dynasty.
Dude, they found the most backwoods, like, racist dude they can, and they put him on Fox, and they're like, what do you think of black people? What do you think this motherfucker's going to say? Damn!
Man, oh, man. So, Lindsey Graham.
The fact that Lindsey Graham is living in denial about systemic racism in America, again, I mean... We were just talking about this on Divided We Stand, this idea that, you know, you as somebody in a political party can't be the voice of reason that says, guys, come on, like it's right in front of us. Can we stop being on the other side of this, like, civil rights movement that's happening? You're the opposition. You're the old lady on the bridge. You know what I mean? Like you're protesting like the integration of schools. That's you. And I'm sure right now in the
and he was.
That's somebody's grandmother, right? Like you're like, oh, that's when my grandmother protested those 5 girls going to the white school. You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
Do you want to be that, or do you want to be? And this is the other thing. I think did I say this last week? If I didn't, I said it on one of the shows. The idea that being progressive is like frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like if you're a forward, you're like, I believe in a society where all men are created equal. People are like, listen to this fucking progressive lunatic. And you're like, what? What? Because I want things to be better. I'm a progressive like fruitcake. That's what that results in. I don't understand that. You would think that people that are like, same shit we've always done, that those are the people who be like, are you an idiot? It's not working.
And that, you know, that's, what do they call it? Insanity. Doing the same thing, the same dumbass thing, expecting a different result. Right? Let's say, when you're privileged, Devonna says, Devonna said, where she said, next time, Joe, just call him the op so I can giggle.
What did I say?
No, she's saying next time, just say you're the ops. So whenever you're referring to those, they're the ops. They're the ops. Next time, say you're the op, and then you know what I'm saying? They're the opposition. The opposition.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
So if I were to say, okay, bet somebody from one of the murder shows on our network is the ops with me. She's my op. Now do you get it? Perfect. There we go. Jared says that's part of the problem. When do they agree? We have no choice. It was perfectly said on Divided We Stand as I was watching at 8 p.m. today, Monday nights, But somebody had stated that how even as you were kind of saying with politics, you were when you were bringing up politics, they were saying that politics is more like religion now. How they intertwine both of that, right? So now they're just more insightful just to go with it because it's what they believe instead of just realistically seeing what the fuck is in front of their face. He just wants to believe that no, we're not racist because he's not experiencing it, kind of thing, right? Those people aren't experiencing it, so they're not going to believe it, even if it's in front of their face.
Don't forget what he said just before the election in November. He said if you're black and you're conservative, you're welcome anywhere you want in South Carolina.
As long as you're conservative.
Yes. Now, he didn't say anything about a noose if you were a liberal, but I thought that part was implied.
That's usually in the small print, behind closed doors that
You're conservative, you're good. Well, what if I'm not? You don't want to know.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in response to all this, Lindsey Graham, I figured I would just show you just a few examples of America in its racist glory, right? So, this just happened not too long ago. Here we are finding ourselves in one of those southern states, Virginia, that, between the racist cops pulling over, military lieutenants, or, maybe your neighbor is a racist and decides to come on your property and, say that you're not the right color for the neighborhood, and you're not the right color to get into an argument with her because she may be white and she's calling the cops, and we know how those situations go down, right? Or the fact that she just feels like, I'm in Virginia, I can call you a nigger on your property and get away with it. Let's see how this played out. And good.
They're so trashy like you. Watch me. Watch me handle it. Watch me. You're not the right color, honey. No, I'm a nigger. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'm not stop talking to my daughter. Let me tell you who you do. I'm a what? I'm a nigger? Why can I tell you? I'm a what? I'm a last thing I do. On my property? On my property?
So, Bet, I have a couple questions. First and foremost, I wish somebody, like Sketchy Peasant, I hope you're from Virginia, because I have a question and I hope somebody can answer me, right? I've been told, right, if somebody verbally assaults you or it's assault, right?
Yes.
If you come on my property, and this is why I love, everybody should have, a personal taser. If you come on my property assaulting me and I tell you to leave and you decide not to leave, I'm tasing your bitch ass. Point blank, period. And especially you coming over with that kind of energy, and then you're on my property talking about you're not the right color? What the fuck is the right color, Joe? I want to know what the right... Can anybody tell me what the right color is, please? Any of our listeners, followers, anybody, please?
From many of these videos, too, I've also learned that when a black person is saying to you, oh, so I'm the N-word, you should say no, you're definitely not. And at that point, leave.
So, and that's the thing. So I think that we missed the part where she called it, but I'm sure she did call her that. Because nobody's just going to sit there and say, oh, so I'm one, and then they'll be like, yeah, you are. I wish we'd have heard that part. But it's just you feel that, free, just once again, here we go in a non-racist country using racial expletives to address certain people of a certain, skin tone because for hatred, right? And but we're not racist. America's not racist. So now, kind of add on to the story. Remember last week or the week before when we talked about the Army Sergeant First Class and the black community decided to show up to the neighborhood. Well, guess what? They decided to do the same thing. So they came, they visited the sister's yard, and they protested calmly and peacefully. They started in the street for a little bit, but then went to her yard, and they've been doing it, I think, all day. And so there we go. There's the right color. It's so funny. Her skin tone matches her shirt and her vest. And I can see, look at that ugly ass makeup. That's not even her true skin tone. Look at that makeup. She literally looks like a goblin. Do you see the goblin face?
Again, Rob, in this case, for some reason, this Karen lady went on to someone's property to tell them that they were
a
not
nigger,
welcome there,
and they're
yeah,
not the right color, and to be racist, and to trespass, and to verbally assault. Yeah, I mean,
I have to ask this question because I think it's valid. At what point do we assume that there's got to be some mental disease in some of these people? That a rational, intelligent human being would never do this. That you would never. I mean, it's getting. Again, I said this last week, Rob. Right? Like what the cops will kill you for, like that threshold, like cigarette, like selling a Lucy cigarette.
Yeah. $20 bill.
$20
fake
bill.
$20 bill.
Fake gun in the park. I mean, the standards are getting lower, and this kind of nonsense, you're seeing it in stores all the time now. But here's somebody who's literally just going up your front stoop to spread their racism. The problem that I think for a lot of conservative people is this is what Donald Trump literally started. He emboldened these people to think that this sort of shit's okay.
Put the battery right in their back.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I in a million years, I really struggle with this idea that these people, you know, I mean, we've seen it. How many times are like, where like the neighbor lady goes over to card all the Mexican landscapers. Where's your green card? Are you out of your fucking mind? Nothing better to do with your day?
Didn't think I had to flash it to you every fucking day. Or I didn't even,
what is wrong with these people?
Do we think that their racism could kind of, like you said, be a mental issue the same way they tried to say that, like, being bisexual or being gay is a mental disease or being transgender is a mental disease? Could being racist be the same mental, like, you know what I mean? Not saying that it is, but I'm not saying that those things are a mental issue, but the way they're trying to, you know what I mean? The way that's what I'm saying. The way they're trying to, can we put racism in that same ball since they want to, you know, throw that ball in that court?
I assume there's got to be some element of a mental disorder to feel as I don't want to use the word passion because that's a positive word, but I mean, if you're that like crazy about skin color that you can see a black person or like a darker skinned, clearly Hispanic person, and you're like, I'm gonna go over there and fucking give him a piece of my, there's something's wrong with you.
Facts.
Okay. Now, I was saying earlier that guy Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez.
I mean, dude, that guy in his heart of hearts, I think, truly believes everything Donald Trump said, and I really think that it's sad. Like, that's a sad thing, dude. That guy is willing to like risk everything because of some. I mean, he thinks like the revolution's here. Liberalism's a mental disorder, and you got to fight the socialist commies before they replace the white men with Jews or Mexicans or.
But you know what's crazy? When they looked into his factories, right? Hispanics and whites make up a lot of his factories, his American-made factories, right? And even Hispanics are on the lower side of the tier, and all, you know, white people, of course, are higher. And even on that side, I think overall his business sales have just plummeted. So he's just he's grabbing at this point. Like, anything he can do, he has to jump on that Trump train in any hopes to try and maybe even get some kind of seat or some kind of position business wise with the Trump party. I said, you know, I don't take any kind of weight to anything he says. He's feeding a bunch of airheaded individuals, right, with the same narrative. So it's just like like you say, he's swinging from Trump's balls, and yeah, I don't know. I Sketchy Peasant did say something interesting. He said, I believe Virginia State says when someone comes on your property yelling profanities, you can whoop their ass. I was gonna ask that question, like, so would the black woman would have been wrong if she came off of her fucking, especially when the lady got closer, like took 2 more steps up. if she would have came off her porch and beat her ass, then they would have probably been saying, "Oh, she assaulted her, she beat her ass," and all that.
I'm pretty sure if you're on my private property, I mean, what happens happens. So I don't know.
Get off. Yeah.
Again, dude, but the audacity to even think that would be okay. Who is fucking telling people that this shit's okay?
Trump. I mean, it's a learned behavior. It didn't just start from Trump. It didn't start from Trump, right? It's always racism has always been here. It was, you know what I mean, bred here pretty much, right? So they learned this shit. They were allowed it, and then so you figure, right? There was racism at one point before Trump. It was still that sensitive topic where a lot of people. I read she really came and knocked on her door. Wow. If she came knocked on the door, that's a whole nother thing. Don't come knocking. Then the cop came and told her she wasn't on her property. You know what? I don't believe shit a cop fucking says anyways, because cops don't even be knowing the laws or the right verbiage, what they're trying to say. Because I think I've said this on the episode before. A lot of people don't realize, right, when a cop pulls you over, they don't know a lot of things unless they've been on the force and they've done this shit a lot. They'll be able to name certain things, right? Like the laws and stuff off the top. So when they take your license registration and they're getting radio back to dispatch is guiding them through what to put in your ticket and guiding them, hey, was it doing this? Was it doing, and helping them with what's going on. So a lot of these cops don't really know. They just know the basis and the premise. And then guess what? They fill in the blanks from there. Something stewing, Joe.
What percentage of racist white people wear fucking name tags? Is it literally 100%?
I think she worked at a food bank.
Can you racist people take your fucking name tag off
before you start
how'd they find me? Because you're wearing a fucking name tag, moron.
Oh
my
man.
God. You want to make it a little easier to identify you on the internet? Hey, your first name is Hillary. She's a cunt racist, and she lives here. Do we know her? Yes. What the hell?
And then she's probably apologizing. I don't know. My puppy died, and COVID has me so scared. It's the mask. I've been wearing a mask for 2 hours straight, and my brain is so messed up, and all this Black Lives Matter stuff, and I've always been scared of black people, and they burn everything down. They tore down our Capitol and all this other stuff because it wasn't the white people. You saw it was the black guy that spearheaded it. Shut the fuck up, Karen. You need to get your ass beat. That's what should have happened. She should have got her fucking ass drugged and fucking made an example. Made it a fucking example. Maybe that might actually get people to hold accountability if fucking Karens like her start getting fucking made an example out of. Her fucking face drug up and down that fucking sidewalk right before she gets to the fucking town, the street side part of it, and just drag her ass until the fucking cops show up. Maybe that might fucking do something well.
Early on, when we first started doing the it's racist, I said, listen, you can be a racist. You could publicly be racist. But if you get punched in your face, that's it. The cops show up and they're like, oh, you're being racist, and that black dude punched you in your mouth. All right, we're good here, everybody.
We're good here.
Have a good night. I'll see you guys around. I think that should be, if you use the N-word and you get punched in the face and a cop shows up and, it's on video. Yeah, no, we're good here. And everybody just goes their separate ways. That's how this should go. And I think you'll see a lot less of it.
Hopefully so. I hope
that. Yeah, because listen, I think if you told black people, if somebody calls you the N-word, you could crack their skull open with your hand. And I think if white people knew that was on the receiving end of the N-word, this is a feeling, Rob. I think the percentage would go down.
I like that. That might be a good ploy or a good, input for reparations. If you don't want to give us money, let us be able to beat the shit out of you legally if we have good justification. I would literally wear a GoPro on me 24/7. just so I have justification to beat a racist ass. Call it reparations. That's my get out of it. Somebody's racist to me, I can beat their ass. Matter of fact, make it across the board. Make it across the board, because I know damn well I'm not racist, so I have nothing to worry about. But I can't wait to hear that one white person yelling nigger and woo, woo, and get their ass beat. Now, I don't want it to be excessive. Maybe like if you're in a group and like a white person says, you fucking niggers, maybe only 3 of you. If you're in a group of like 8, only 3, like y'all can rock, paper, shoot, like who gets to beat his ass or whatever the case may be. But let's see here. Joe Sketchy says you're slipping on the White Claw sipping. Jared says that's like the unconscious guy that tried to hit my wife with a pool stick. Looks like he fell. The cops. See?
I know that story, Jared. Yes, that's a good one.
Jared's gonna have to tell us that story when he comes on. I'll pitch you off shortly. I promise you. Sure. I promise you, Jared. We're gonna have you on. We just gotta have you like in person. I don't want to have it like this. It can't be remote, and I want it to be with our new setup too. I think that'd be amazing. So, but yeah. So yeah. So Lindsey Graham, example 1. You know what's so crazy? Lindsey Graham, that was example 1, and we spent like almost 15, 20 minutes just on one example. Yeah. That's crazy, but America's not racist. Now, the next one, Joe, what year are we in?
2021.
Oh, 1621?
No. No,
1721?
In some towns, kind of. This is bad.
So, well, in Texas, apparently they're in, anytime, they're in the slavery days. So, let's see here. What happened was, a group of white kids, a group of white high schoolers, Joe, they decided to make a Snapchat. I didn't even realize, like, Snapchat was still a thing. To the point where I had to open back up my Snapchat just to see if I could like find and see, you know what I mean? I don't know how to use Snapchat. I ended up deleting it back, right? So, group of white high schoolers decided, and what is this town? Aledo. I want to get it right. Texas. Aledo. Independent School District just outside of Fort Worth. Multiple high school students in Texas are facing disciplinary actions after they created a social media group pretending to auction off their black peers. One student bid $100 on one student, according to the screenshot of the messages. Another wrote $1 on Chris. $1 on Chris would be better if his hair wasn't so bad. The group called Nigger Auction on the app Snapchat was started by a handful of students at the Aledo Independent School District just outside of Fort Worth. This is all reported by CNN. So yeah.
Few bad actors, like Lindsey Graham said.
A few bad actors. So where do we start with this, right? First and foremost, these kids, once again, racism is a learned behavior. Texas, we're in Texas. Aledo, Texas, West Texas, yes. Does it shock me? Surprisingly, no. Like, it does not shock me that a group of white high schoolers in Aledo, Texas have a Snapchat group auctioning off black students, right? But what disgusted me even more was the reaction by the school district. How they're just we're going to, cover everything up. There's been some disciplinary action, and outside of that, you guys got to leave it alone. Let's play the video just so you guys can see and actually hear from the parents how the school district is acting and handling the situation. And yes, Jared, the racism is bigger in Texas.
Parents in Aledo say the school district isn't doing enough after their children were called slaves in a student group chat. Aledo ISD disciplined the students involved in setting up the racist Snapchat group on social media. But some parents told Rebecca Lopez the district isn't even listening to their concerns.
Today, I stand to make it very clear. Our sons are not victims.
Their shirts say our children are priceless.
A racially charged incident, terroristic threat, and subjected to racism.
The parents of 2 black students who say their children were targeted in a racist social media group stood together and are speaking out.
I will not let this incident, this town, or the media victimize our sons.
You would have to see me.
So stop
Like,
victimizing them.
your dad has to see
They
me.
stood up for themselves.
Their
Your
sons
uncle,
attacked
if you,
them after they were sent screenshots from that group.
and you know what's
It
crazy?
initially called itself
Little homie, they got gun things, and then they put the black worker up there.
$1 and another for $100.
I am proud of them because instead of letting something that was meant to dehumanize, belittle, and embarrass them, our sons, are using it to elevate themselves and the people in their school.
Can we pause
and our
right here?
community.
The parents
For a
say
second.
they went to the
How come when white kids act up, us as the black people are expected to handle things with class and maturity, right? Like, white kids can do some ignorant, fucked up shit that they know is wrong, but us black children, our black children, we have to act mature and proper. This would have been a prostitute trade, or girls we fucking trade Snapchat, and it was a group of black basketball players, and they had matter of fact, it would have been a Snow Bunny trade, where it was all the black basketball players. They were auctioning off girls they would love to fuck in their grade. That would have been a whole different thing, right? I'm sure the kids would have got fucking expelled. Their faces would have been shown. Fucking white girls would have been fucking traumatized. And they would have, exactly, Divina, they would have went to fucking prison. They would have been doing fucking 3 to 4 years, depending on how old they are. Maybe juvenile, definitely doing big boy time, right? This is what we go to jail for. Hell, there was an instance where two instances. Matter of fact, one of the brothers played for the Atlanta Falcons. He was falsely accused for rape. There was another dude not too long ago. This had to been, I want to say 2018 at in Connecticut. St. Francis, I want to say, the college there. The white girl lied that the two basketball and football players fucking raped her. And she only lied because she was trying to save face for the white boy she was trying to date. Here we go. Texas 5, Central Park 5. Let's name it, right? So if it was this kind of story, it would be all over the news. These white girls would be on fucking Dr. Phil. They would have the sympathy of fucking America. But we literally have white kids play auctioning, slave auctioning, black children. And actually, these black kids are doing better than most of those, and all those kids, actually, it was reported, in school. So Joe, I'm telling you right now, let my child be auctioned off in a fucking Snapchat. I want to see your parent. I want to see your fucking grandfather. I want to see your uncle, your cousin, your mother, your sister. Whoever can fight, you need to see me. I'm at your fucking door. I'm at that school's door every day. This is those times where I say, oh, you want to see a nigga? Oh, you want to see one now? The fuck is wrong? And then let's hear. Did we take down? Yeah, let's hear what the school does.
Principal and administrators demanding transparency and for the district to detail what happened. They say instead the district issued a general statement saying racial harassment and cyberbullying had occurred and assigned disciplinary consequences.
The Aledo ISD administrators injured our sons and our families more so by not being entirely truthful nor transparent about the severity and degree of this racially charged hateful behavior.
The parents are now demanding the district provide mandatory racial and cultural awareness training and come up with a policy to punish racist behavior more harshly. The district declined to comment today. The parents say they're not going anywhere and say they will continue to demand change.
We will be part of the change because our sons deserve it.
In Aledo, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
So, school's just, we're dealing with it. It's fine. There's no racism here.
Can I read you a statement that the district had sent on Saturday?
Please do.
Because you're going to love this. I'm only going to read half of it. The other half doesn't even matter. It's all bullshit after this. I know I speak for our entire Alito community when I say I am deeply sorry that a few of our students engaged in racial harassment of 2 of our students of color in a social media chat. I'm also sorry that blah, 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 blah,
Those-
blah, bullshit.
Those bad actors hurting only a few percent. It starts with 2 black guys.
That's what it always is now, Rob. Yeah. I told you, right, on the podcast system with Lovey, the episode she did about microaggressions. As I sat there and I edited that episode, I started to cry because I thought about racist things I've seen done in front of me where I certainly was like, oh, yeah, black person, they didn't mean it like that. You know, that sort of thing that we've always done. And now that we know people have feelings, and again, to hear Lovey share those experiences, and I was editing all of that audio, and I was like, oh my God, have I done that in my life? Yeah. And I started thinking about all those times, and Devonna said it earlier. Is there anything worse than white people speaking on the status of racism? I mean, cut it the fuck out. What are you doing out there? You know, when somebody says something is racist or sexist or xenophobic or whatever it is, as the white person and probably the agitator, it's not your job to be like, nope, I don't see that here.
Not here.
Stop that. It's not just a couple bad actors. It's societal. And we know it is. It is a learned behavior. If your fucking grandpas are racist and your daddies are racist and your mamas are racist, you're fucking racist. It's hard not to be. You might not even embrace it.
But you're fucking racist.
But then some shit like this happens and you're paying $1 for Chris.
And you have no accountability.
Well, right. What is the accountability? What was it in the first place? They're being disciplined. What does that mean? No. We don't even know what that means. They probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble if that really pretty mom, by the way, hadn't pressed the issue.
So imagine, and that I started thinking, right? So imagine if that Snapchat didn't come out, right? If that Snapchat didn't come out, they probably would have had a whole fantasy league type deal going on with the black kids, and then it isn't. Jared says it isn't bad apples. The system is working as it was designed to. It's a rotten tree.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Lindsey Graham is over there fucking still watering that fucking rotten tree with a whole slew of them.
Mm-hmm.
So couple of examples of why I feel, because I always like to present. I always told if you have an issue, come with solutions or come with the problems, legit problems, and let's find a solution instead of just bitching about it and just denying it. So stop fucking gaslighting us, Lindsey Graham. Take that fire up your own ass and shove it up your own ass, you piece of shit. I can't wait until you're either voted out or there's no energy left for you to be living. I don't know. I don't know the right way to say that, but I fucking hate you. I do.
Wouldn't you say again at this point that, if you're a politician in 2021 America and you don't think there's systemic racism, it'd be like if
you're probably racist. No, you're racist.
It would be like, dude, if you went in for surgery, right, and the surgeon is like, your heart valve, is that in the chest area or in your legs, right? You'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where that is?
So I see your leg is broken like that MMA fighter, this past week, but your leg's going to be fine. Your leg's perfectly fine. And by the way, the break didn't bother me. It was when he thought he could plant that leg and it was going to hold. And it literally
BT Dubs, I don't know if you know the irony there, but he several years ago, Anderson Silva.
Yes. I saw that one too.
Yes, sir. And here's the irony. Uriah Hall, who just did that to Weidman, actually was the last guy to beat Silva.
Oh,
before
wow.
he retired. When he lost to Silva, that was the end of his UFC career. And then this happened with him and Weidman.
So he is now the career killer.
Oh yeah, dude. They're like the three of them are like linked, like
Jeez, that's
weird
crazy.
leg.
That's crazy. But I wish like Lindsey Graham could like break his leg like going down the legislative steps like that. He'd never recover. Frank, you said it, brother. If you say there's no racism, then you're the racist. And we'll leave it at that. So yeah, America. Yep, you're racist. This country was founded on racism. Implicit and explicit bias is a big problem too. That's a whole different topic. I would love to have one who I believe is like a specialist in that. But we'll see if I can get them on the show. But these are the things that need to be taught to educate people. Correct. I wish. Let's go ahead and pay one more bill with DJ Rifa. I'm not. I'm not even trying to hold y'all past 2 hours. So, and we're doing good for time. I'm liking the momentum we're at. So let's go ahead and pay a bill with DJ Rifa, and then
There's always a holiday, birthday, or any celebration to look forward to. So why not prepare now and book your favorite DJ and or photographer? Book DJ Rifa, the most versatile female DJ around for your parties or small gatherings. Need a professional photo shoot done too? Then book Reef's Views to capture your dream shots as well. Don't need either, but still curious to check out the work? You can now find DJ Rifa on shopblackct.com, the best directory for all Black-owned businesses in Connecticut. On there, you'll find DJ Rifa's Instagram at Queen of All Trades with 3 L's, where you can now look and book. Need more information but want to reach out directly? Email DJ Rifa at masonsharifa@gmail.com. Memories last a lifetime, so let's start making them.
yeah, buddy. Make sure you guys are hitting up DJ Rifa on Shop Black CT, I believe, right? Yeah, or just hit her up on Queen of All Trades. That is
3 L's, by the way.
There we go, 3 L's. That is one of the hottest DJs in the tri-state area. I'm co-signing that. If we were to do like a fun fact, right? If we were to start getting booked and like doing like travel shows, I would definitely have DJ Rifa as like our pre-show person, like to get the crowd hype. Like that would definitely be my like go-to right there. So make sure you guys definitely the world's opening up. And so if you need a DJ, especially like 4th of July, because I had to cancel her for my 4th of July dig, but it's all good. So if you need somebody and you're like, damn, I need a DJ for 4th of July, hit up Queen of All Trades. I'll definitely give you my slot. How about that? Well, not give you, you still have to pay it, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll give you my time slot. But anyways, why didn't you tell me that like this PPP loan was like a whole fucking scam out here? Like I heard it was like a pandemic. I heard the youngins, the little jits and stuff saying like it's a pandemic. I'm out here getting this money, especially in Atlanta. When I went to Atlanta, I saw a lot more like Lamborghinis and like all these cars, and like people were still at Gucci and Louis, and I was like, how? And then boom, article comes out from pogo.org. PPP loans, Lamborghini, strip clubs, companies, and lies. Everybody's frauding these PPP loans, Joe. I did not. So I can't say I did not know, because I heard, of course, all the rumors, and of course, you listen to certain things, and you hear certain things, and you're like, oh, okay, and then you start seeing certain things, and you're like, damn, a lot of these rappers and a lot of these people are getting a lot of money. Y'all are affording a lot of things that, even when the 90s budgets were crazy, these rappers weren't out here getting, you know what I'm saying? And I get it, like, especially like this crypto age and all this other stuff, which is like, it's going to start like, which is interesting to start deep diving into that as well. But like, so it was interesting, right? So here we go. Everybody that knows that like stimulus, COVID hit, PPP loans came out, and anybody that doesn't know what PPP stands for, Paycheck Protection Program loan. So people started coming up with LLCs left and right and getting, all this money. And people, so now the government, the government's never giving away free money, right? Because these people thought like, we out here balling. So the government's starting to crack down. They're starting to have time on their hands and start going back through these loans. So here we go. We'll start with a couple of examples. Former mayoral candidate charged with obtaining fraudulent $323,000 in PPP loans. In March 2021, the DOJ charged a former mayoral candidate in Georgia with fraudulently obtaining an excess of $323,000 under the PPP. According to the DOJ, the former candidate submitted a fraudulent loan application, including fictitious tax records on behalf of a nonprofit in which she claimed the organization was paying 54 employees. However, the DOJ alleges that the nonprofit, in fact, had not paid any wages in the prior year, and it further alleges that the former candidate used the PPP funds to pay for a swimming pool and cover other personal expenses. Example 1. Do you want to hear more?
This is terrible.
There's so much. And this is how terrible it is. Like, there's so much, right? So, a tax preparer, and it sounds so bad because we were just talking. Anyways, tax preparer charged with submitting 118 fraudulent PPP loans. Also in March, the DOJ filed charges against a South Florida tax preparer who was accused of submitting approximately 118 fraudulent PPP loans on behalf of himself and his accomplices. According to the DOJ, the tax preparer falsified applicants' income and expenses and submitted fraudulent tax forms. The fraudulent applications resulted in a total of $975,582 in Small Business Association or SBA loans backed funds being loaned under the PPP. Here we go. And there was a whole nother one where it involved the ex NFL player. Like somebody in Florida. Like they had a whole scam and ring into it. There's a story of a woman who had a GoFundMe set up because she took she ended up getting access of $20,000, excess of $20,000. And the feds were coming after her, and she set up a GoFundMe page to get people to contribute to help her get to pay the money back. Like, are you that dumb that you think that even if GoFundMe you were able to raise $20,000 from GoFundMe, and you're like, no, here you go. You think the feds weren't about to give you time? Like, they're making an example. They're holding all y'all accountable. So all y'all crazy ass LLCs that y'all made and started just building and getting all these damn fraudulent checks, y'all better be on the lookout because they know it. And they're just combing through. They ain't got nothing but time to comb through and set examples of people. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So a man charged with obtaining nearly $2 million through multiple fraudulent PPP loans. And this is in January 2021. Charged a Nevada man with submitting multiple fraudulent loans application. Obtained nearly $2 million by 7 different lenders. Falsified claim having numerous employees earning wages. Like how? First and foremost, I didn't even think that you can get well, obviously it's not legit because you got caught, but I didn't think that you could get fraudulent tax paperwork or filed tax. How do you get fraudulent filed taxes?
You can do anything at this point. I mean, what can't be faked or imitated? Listen, this was initially the what they do with the PPP loans is they were just approving it for big established companies. Mm-hmm. Because the whole idea was the government was like, here, take this money, give it to people first and have given you business over the years. And so the money went right to the big businesses. And then they were like, what are you doing? Fucking got to give it to regular. And so this is where you ran into trouble where literally people are just, there's not a lot of, this is why people hate the government and why people don't want government health care and shit. Because, I'm looking at this too. This is stunning. Millions of dollars wasted because the government can't get their shit together.
No, just gone.
It's a shame.
And then what's so crazy, like you hear them like, well, the small, all these small businesses that closed that didn't get those loans, right? And then they're like, well, what about the small businesses? Well, you had a chance to get it right, and y'all had a fucking easily corrupt system that was easily, it was easy to do, and y'all were just handing out money without doing the proper verification. I understand it's fucking emergency, but damn. Y'all waited a year for a vaccine.
Right.
It would have been too easy to just sit there and say, hey, we're stopping all this money shit for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, until we figure this out. But now all this money wasted, Lamborghinis, hotels, here we go. And one of the most complex cases to date, a Florida talent management company owner named Philip J. Augustine is accused of conspiring with at least 10 people, including NFL player Joshua Bellamy, to defraud the PPP program. Those involved schemes saw over $24 million in loans and ultimately attained at least $17.4 million. They were looking at the statements. They went luxury hotels. It says Bellamy, he went to hotels, Louis, Gucci. Here we go. Bellamy spent over $62,000 of the loan money at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and casino in Florida, and over $104,000 on high-end jewelry at retailers Gucci and Dior. Government money. You know how many small businesses could have survived off of $100K? At least five small businesses, y'all could have at least set them up for a little bit. 3 if you want to be conservative and like really give them a boost for at least 9 months. Just saying. But here we go. And you know what's bullshit? You can't return none of that shit. Even if you allocated all that Louis, the Gucci, and all that other shit, they can't resell it. They can't do nothing. It just sits there as evidence. You're not gonna have them pay back every penny of that. Especially if he goes and pays the right attorneys. So once again, we lose again. Sketchy peasant, you better stop putting that juju out there. Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
Listen, the White Claws.
So it's just
$600,000 worth of White Claw.
Man, oh man.
Someday I hope that's my yearly budget.
I'm just saying, it's crazy out here. So yeah, y'all PPP frauders. I saw a lot of y'all. I was wondering where y'all was getting this money. I was wondering, and it's finally coming to light. Well, I guess we'll go into our last and tough topic. This is probably the tough I fucked that up. That's Ma'Khia Bryant. That was in my era. But I want to say rest in peace to Ma'Khia Bryant. But no, there shouldn't be there's no but. Rest in peace to Ma'Khia Bryant, right? This was a tragic situation, but there has to be accountability held on all aspects of this situation, right? And I kind of juggled whether or not and debated whether or not I wanted to show the videos, but I felt like, especially like the accountability part and aspect of this, like you have to see it. And then there was a video that showed live and then slow-mo, right? And I said, part of us, especially being I'll piss you off shortly, is the fact that we see the facts. If we have the facts in front of us, we're going to see it. If we want to hold somebody accountable, we can't hold somebody accountable without seeing the facts, right? So I stayed away from discussing this topic with anybody pretty much, even outside. I tried to discuss it with my close circle, and even we all kind of had a kind of a we pretty much had to come to the agree to disagree aspect and just kind of left it there because I definitely at first was like, she had a knife. Like, I get it that she's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was of the full aspect, like, she had a knife. 4 shots, definitely excessive. But coming from my military background, and then so many other different aspects that I was, you know, so many different, like, I got it, but it was still tough. Like, and for me, still, I even said it, like, it was a tough situation for me. It was hard for me to, you know, unpack, right? So I took all week to kind of, like, try and unpack it and come up with a solid, like, way of how I felt, because I really felt conflicted. That's what it was. You know, I really felt conflicted, right? So, well, Ma'Khia Bryant, of course, everybody knows the Ohio shooting, officer shooting, where the officers were called to a house where Ma'Khia was apparently getting jumped or attempted to be jumped, and she ended up attacking 2 young women with a knife, and then the officer engaged and killed her after 4 shots. So let's go ahead and watch the first video. And this is a live action in real time body cam footage. I chose the body cam footage of the officer because that's the best angle that you see. I won't talk during the video. We'll play like the clip, then we'll stop it, we'll talk about it, and then we'll go to the next one. And yeah. Da-da. Clip 1.
Hey, get down! Get down! Get down! Get down!
Can we go back a little bit? Can we rewind it? I hate to like double back, but there we go. Yeah.
First video we're going to show you is Officer Nicholas Reardon. Officer Reardon was working a 1-officer car. He was
whoa, that was way too far.
He's currently assigned
3
second.
Yeah. There we go.
Hey. What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, 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 get down, get down, get down, get down. You ain't shoot my fucking baby. You shot my baby.
All right. We can pause this one. All right, bet.
All right. I mean, is this another one of those where they just show up and shoot, for crying out loud? I mean,
no.
What was even happening there?
So the cops were called. Ma'Khia's parents had called the 2 girls. So the girl in the pink and then the girl that was being stabbed at. They were apparently engaging and with Ma'Khia and apparently trying to jump her. And they had been there earlier. There was maybe a threat of like a weapon being there before. So the cops are already en route, right? So when the cop gets there, he comes out of his vehicle. You can see him coming out of his vehicle. He is walking towards the group. There's yelling and stuff going on. So he's trying to figure out what's up. And then you see Ma'Khia's coming at the girl, starts attacking with a knife. So she attacks the first girl.
No, why is she attacking this girl with a knife? Do we know what that's all about?
She was apparently trying to protect herself from being jumped. But in the video, obviously the jumping was over, or whatever the case may have been was over, and they were in the yard, you know what I mean, talking. Because when the officer pulled up, there was no, outside of verbal altercation, there was no fighting. There was no, you know what I'm saying? So so pulling up to a scene, you don't know, right? All they know is, hey, the cops are being called. And then I heard a video of the actual phone call. It's in this long clip. This whole clip is like 30 something minutes long, or however long it is, because it's the actual clip from the Ohio, from the Columbus police station, right? I believe it's Columbus, right? But anyways, so the officer comes up and he's asking, what's going on? And then you see Ma'Khia attacking the girl, right? So in my mind, we'll start with the attack. If I'm the parent, and this is where I say accountability, and it sucks that these parents had to witness this, that everybody had to be traumatized by this kind of situation. But if I know that my daughter is being attacked or was being attacked, right? And we're in my home or on my property, we have called the officers. Why am I outside engaging? Why is my child back outside? Why, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to cordon yourself off and stay in the protections of your own home, especially if there's two girls there to harm your daughter with a possible weapon. So first and foremost, how did she get outside with a fucking weapon? Right? Now, secondly, why did she... If you were literally there arguing with that person, like, you shouldn't have had this fucking knife in the first place. Why did a parent just let... Because the parents were there. Literally right there. Why are they outside letting her hold a knife? And I'm sorry, this modern day, like, there's so many things I could probably say, and fuck it, I'll piss you off shortly, right? Don't bring a fucking knife to a gunfight, especially in this modern day age. You don't know what the fuck is going on, right? You don't know what anybody has on them. So the best thing for you and your family is to be inside your home, your safety net. Bad decision number one, right? Even if you've already just been jumped. You've called the cops. You know the cops are in the way. Sit your ass in your fucking house. So, now, we get to the point where the officers pull up. Micaiah starts attacking. Now, we're going to go, let's say one of these girls had a gun on them. It's not outrageous to think. Say one of these girls had a gun on them. Let's say when Micaiah decides to start slashing, right? Starts attacking, attempting to murder somebody or attempting to harm somebody with a knife. One of these girls shoots Micaiah. In their own protection, right? Because we were just talking, now you've attacked me with a knife. Now this girl shoots Micaiah. What is the narrative now? Oh, Micaiah was the girl protecting herself? Was she wrong for shooting her? Let's take the cop totally out the picture right now, right? Because I'm having accountability. I'm breaking this shit down piece by piece, having accountability on all sides. We haven't even gotten to the officer yet, right? If Micaiah started stabbing at this girl and the girl shot her, the girl was just protecting herself from Micaiah because Micaiah's coming. You're coming at me with a fucking knife, right? It's self-defense. Bet, right? So now, let's insert cop. Joe, some person is attacking your daughter. No, fuck it. I ask me what. Say, Rob, somebody's attacking your daughter with a knife.
Yep. Rob, someone's attacking your daughter with a knife.
What do you do?
What do you do?
I defend I defend my daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if somebody's attacking my daughter and I'm not there to defend my daughter, and the police are there, and somebody stabs my daughter, who am I to be mad at?
Yeah.
Am I to be mad at the officer for not de-escalating the situation? Am I, or not even for not taking away the threat or de-escalating the threat, right? Am I to be mad at the person that stabbed my daughter?
Does that police officer have any idea if there were like 8 people stabbed in the house and that girl's chasing her down to stop? I mean, right?
No,
again,
the officer doesn't.
It's the same shit that we see time and time again from these guys. Is they get out of their car, they take out their gun, and they start shooting. Now, listen, I say this all the time. You know how I feel about this, Rob. If Micaiah was charging at the cop with that knife, you get clipped. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it didn't look like was she trying to stab the girl that she was standing next to by the car when she got shot?
Yeah, she was literally. So, play clip 2. We'll go to clip 2, and this is the slow-mo. Because when we go to the slow mo, it shows you can see the actual motions. You can see kind of what's going on. I think we might have to even talk through this one because I don't know if there's volume to it.
He's currently assigned to Zone 2 shift, and he is the officer that discharged.
I think if you go through clip 2, it should play the slow mo. Well, here, we'll just watch it this way. Here.
What's going on? Hey, what's going on?
So right there, she's the knife. She's attacking, and then she goes to attack the girl in the pink. And that split of a second. Now, this is where I wanted to get into with the cop. Was it necessary for him to pull his firearm? That's a tough decision. Now, I wanted to show the slow-mo because during the slow-mo, it's a different... It might... If we... Hold on. I was going to say, it should... If we hit play, we'll kind of talk over it. It comes up not too long after this. But if he were to pull his taser and maybe was prepared that way, we wouldn't be watching a dead, you know what I mean? We definitely, not maybe, we wouldn't be watching a young 15-year-old. And that was the other thing. She's 15 years old, right? A young 15-year-old is now dead because of her decisions, the cops' decisions, her parents' decisions. And the argument that a lot of people have been having is that the fact that, and I'm sorry if this is traumatizing to some people, but I would rather show the full length instead of edited CNN. She came at her with a knife. You heard him, Joe?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It's about to go into slow-mo.
We'll now play the same video in slow motion.
So look by the car, the left of the car. They're sitting there talking. And then, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Now, Micaiah, right there. She's attacking the girl. Now, at this point, that officer should have grabbed his taser. Not reaching for your firearm, but he sees the knife. Now, and then there's a point where the dad comes in and fucking kicks that girl, which is fucking wrong as shit. But I get it if you came to jump my daughter. But there's Micaiah right there, right? She's still attacking with the knife. So, stop. Can we stop it?
Yep.
Bet. So at that point, right, you have the first girl being attacked on the ground. The girl in the pink is about to be attacked by Micaiah. Micaiah's in the blue jeans. At this point, at first I felt very conflicted because I didn't see slow-mo. I just saw the fast version, and I had to sit there and say, because I was like, he had to make a split decision. She is literally attempting to murder the first girl. To kill, like she's attempting to kill this person with a knife.
Well,
Joe.
Slow down.
Physical harm. Okay, bet. Physical.
Dude,
all right, let's go.
It's like a steak knife. That isn't killing. You'd have to stab somebody in the jugular vein to kill him.
Okay, to endure physical harm, and this is what I was saying, right? So, no, a knife is a knife. If you hit somebody in the right spot,
a knife is a knife. Did you not watch Crocodile Dundee? Dude, there's a difference between a steak knife. That girl might as well have been going at her with a pencil. Are you serious? That is not that's not the kind of knife where a cop should be like, oh my God, I better shoot this person. It's a steak knife.
If you come at me with a knife,
Lord.
If you come at me with a knife, I'm drawing down.
Right.
Don't come at me with a knife.
I had a kid in high school pull up like a pocket knife out on me. And like reach out like he was, and I slapped it out of his hand and then slapped him around.
Doing that is different from actually making full-fledged multiple attempts of trying to cut you, to literally impale you with a knife, with a sharp object. I'm sorry, Joe. If you're coming at me with a knife like that, now this is me as a civilian, not police, as a law-abiding citizen that has the right to bear arms. Exactly, steak knife or not, it's a fucking knife.
If you came at me with a steak knife, I would ask you for the A1 sauce as well.
Joe.
It's a steak knife. You're not doing any damage with it. You certainly shouldn't be murdered for a steak knife, especially not knowing why is this girl. Ask yourself this. If I was going to go murder somebody, if I'm a cop and I walk up on the scene and I got like a Rambo knife in my hand, right? Like, where'd that shit come from? Not the kitchen. Like, that looks like you were planning to murder somebody.
They kicked the knife over. That was a big old knife. That looked like one of those Cutco knives, Joe. But
no, I saw it on the ground. It looked like a steak knife.
All right. So all I'm saying, well, not all I'm saying, and that's the thing. Like, I would.
Did Frank just threaten to stab me with a steak knife?
He said, "Let me try." I don't know if that was a threat.
Like, let me tell you something. Before that knife got into my ribs, my fist would be in your eyeball. Are you kidding me? You're coming at me with a steak knife.
I don't know what a knife is until I see it. A knife is a knife. It's still assault with a deadly weapon, a sketchy peasant said. And I'm going to match force with force. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Now, needless to say, I am a civilian. Now, as a law-abiding citizen that's supposed to be protecting and serving this community, right? I do feel like I heard some people sitting there saying, oh, he could have tackled her. I'm not tackling somebody with a knife. I'm not fucking Superman. Now, the first thing I should have drawn was my taser. Because at this prime opportunity, because he's had time, you know what I'm saying? Like, as we put it in slow-mo, he had time to let off the taser. I think you fire one solid taser into a 15-year-old's back, they're going down. You know what I'm saying? Some people were saying, well, what about putting the other girl in danger? You train and you go to the range for those precise shooting. You know what I'm saying? You train for that. Obviously he had a good shot, but it's unfortunate. He definitely when it comes to the shots, 4 shots was definitely excessive. 4 shots, no. That's where my second issue is, because my first issue being.
The mom?
She was being attacked as well. She was the one being attacked when he shot her. So here, let's press play so we can finish it out. So you see, and look at the dad kick this chick. So she's literally sitting there. Look, Joe. Look. Joe, you come at my sister, a family member, I'm sorry. And this is the point where he shoots her, as you see her fall. Joe. And this is where one of the people in my circle.
You don't know what was happening. You have to. Why would a girl try to stab somebody in front of a cop unless she felt like she was justified?
And that's the thing. I can't knock her, but at the same time, like, why are the parents? Because the two people in the hoodie and the person to the left of it. We can take the video down now.
Did you see
those are the parents
sat there on the ground and never moved?
Yeah, pit bulls are the nicest animals in the world. It's fucking TV and like little Karens that get all mad, like the pit bulls' faces that fucking make pit bulls look bad.
I don't know. I don't like any of this. Something was clearly going wrong. I mean, again, I think if you're the cop, before you start shooting, you have to know fucking something about what happened.
But you can't know anything, and there's somebody attempting with a knife. Say she connected with both of those girls. And both of them die. Now they're mad at the cop because Joe, you can't make that face though.
She permanently blinded.
Okay, still okay. So now that girl is permanently blinded. No, I'm sorry, no.
But what was that girl doing there?
Exactly, that girl shouldn't have been in it. But still, you go to the premise of If you were going there to get jumped, I've been jumped before. You better have some fucking hands.
You're on my property. You've come in to assault me, and now I'm stabbing you with a knife. As far as I'm concerned, and in a lot of states, I'm protected to stab your shit. Again, the cop doesn't just get to show up and start shooting.
True, I'm not disagreeing with that. There's different ways he could have handled that, but at the same time, if somebody, as a cop, if you don't know what's going on, and as soon as you get there in a split decision, somebody starts swinging a knife, not saying he made the best decision, there definitely should.
Let's take this same fuckface cop and let's throw him somewhere, different scenario, and tell me if this is any better. A man breaks into a woman's home, and he's been raping her for the last, 8 hours, and he stops, he makes a fucking sandwich, he's got her kids tied up in a closet, right? And he's fucking cutting her with a fucking knife little nicks or whatever. All of a sudden, right, the cops show up. And she breaks free, and she goes to plunge the knife into this rapist's back, and the cops kick the door in, and they just start fucking shooting this naked, raped lady. Is that any different than what you just saw here? Probably.
It is due to the fact that there was already a police phone call made saying, hey.
What did that call say?
And the call was saying, hey, they're here to beat me up, XYZ. I can't remember exactly what it was. So, they were already in the house. Or they were already in the house. They came back outside. There was no need for them to come back outside. You went in your house, got a knife, and came back outside to further engage. You went away from the threat. The threat was over with, and then you came back to re-engage into the threat.
But you don't know what happened inside the house.
You went into the house. You went into your safety. Those two girls did not go into the house. They were outside.
I don't know that they weren't in the house. How do I know that?
Joe, the neighbor footage, I can grab the neighbor's footage that shows all of it. The girls weren't in the house. The girl got jumped, went into the house, grabbed the knife, came back outside to the threat. Joe, at that point,
the situation I described is very real in this same situation. If a cop walked in at the wrong moment and saw a woman about to stab her rapist and he didn't know what was happening, is he just going to start firing? He's got to save that poor man's life. He's about to get murdered by this naked crying person.
If somebody called,
fucking break.
Okay, bet. So in your scenario, no. Here we go. How does the cop? No, Joe.
End of the day, cops have to stop shooting people.
Very true. I'm not.
You got to know more before you shoot people. I'm sorry to say.
In your scenario, how does the cop get there? What, does a neighbor call? Okay, the neighbor calls and says, gives information and says, sounds like a girl is yelling and screaming, and sounds like she's getting fucking raped or yelling for bloody murder. The cop knows that probably more than likely the girl's not the victim.
I don't know that, and I don't know that the cops had any idea what was happening in this situation. Clearly,
the cops had an idea of what was going on. They had a base of it, and it was a sticky situation.
A lot of the time that they just shoot before why'd they shoot Tamir Rice?
Because he had a gun he had a fake gun. He had a fake gun in the backyard.
Well,
but
again,
that's different from
even the slightest bit more information.
Joe, that's different. That's different from having to react. Okay. No, that's different from having to react to somebody that's literally in an immediate dangerous act of getting fucking, stabbed. Now, once again, I don't agree that they shot him 4 times. We were always taught, even in the military, if you need to shoot a shot, shoot to injure, not shoot to kill. Or, guess what? Use non-lethal first. I'm a firm believer of non-lethal. I think he was fucked up for going lethal. No, if you're going to shoot somebody with your taser and then ask questions. Don't kill the person to the point where they can't answer themselves. But if somebody has to get tased and fucking even out the situation, so be it. So, you know what I mean? So, I don't agree that he murdered the girl. It's not justified. It's not right. But the accountability portion of it is the parents have accountability in the shit just as much as she had accountability in the shit, just as much as those 2 girls had accountability in the shit, just as much as the cop. Because the cop should have been more responsible than pulling out his firearm.
Abraham Lincoln, Tupac Shakur, John Lennon, Wild Bill Hickok. These are all people that were shot in the back. And the person that shot them in each case was a fucking lunatic, intent to kill them. When you shoot somebody in the back, I noticed the Police Benevolent Association called this a heroic move by the officer. Putting 4 bullets into a 15-year-old black girl's back, the Police Benevolent Association says, fucking A, hero status.
I'm not even going to make this into a race thing. And this is even me.
It doesn't have to be
Like,
a race thing.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
a cop shooting somebody in the back, you want to give him a fucking bravery award? He shot the person in the back.
No, I don't want to give. I don't think he should get a bravery reward or an award, but like
of heroism.
One person died versus 3 people potentially dying.
3 people getting their clothes torn.
Okay, so if somebody starts stabbing you, Joe, and we're out and about, I'm just gonna let you get stabbed up.
I'll handle it.
Okay,
I'll handle it.
All right, somebody record this, so just in case, and knock on wood that nothing never happens, but if somebody happens to get you in the jugular, I can play this back and be like, I tried to save my brother Joe, but he said he would handle it.
If I get hit in the jugular with a steak knife, I deserve to die. You know what? As a matter of fact, if I get stabbed in the jugular by a steak knife, and I'm like, Rob, give me something to stop the bleeding, I want you to be like, no, I'm not doing it.
No, I have to stop the bleeding because I want you to hear this. I have to stop the bleeding because I just want you to hear this. I'm like, remember all that shit you were talking? And I have my whole piece on me too.
Nobody's stabbing me.
I hope not.
Steak knife. And I'll tell you this: if anybody's planning on stabbing me, if there's a steak knife in your hand, that's your weapon of choice. I'm gonna fuck you up so bad it's not even funny. Then I'm gonna take that steak knife and I'm gonna shove it up your ass, and then I'm gonna walk you home and sit you down in your lazy boy chair.
Well, if you decide that you want to try and stab me, don't, because don't bring a knife to a gunfight. I'll tell you that right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm peaceful. I don't have a gun. Matter of fact, I don't even have a gun. I got these soft little fists right here that I learned how to use. But if you got a knife, you got it. You got it, big dog. You got it.
If you come at me with one of those Crocodile Dundee knives, then I'm going to be like, Rob, get your fucking gun out and shoot this motherfucker.
Nah, I ain't shooting shit. Nope. I'm going to let him chop your ass the fuck up.
I appreciate Sketchy Peasant.
There we go, Sketchy.
Up to the minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Sketchy.
I don't know what website he got this off of, but it's got to be true. Steak knife stabbings are up 1,670% since 2010.
See?
I don't know. I believe that.
See? You want me to just sit there and let it happen now?
I've been very clear, Rob, that race aside in all of these shootings, although this is another good example of black youth being disregarded and another black life an inch away also being disregarded. Because, I mean, if he shot the chick in pink, fuck it, right? Whoops.
What? No.
I say this, yeah. Dude.
Oh,
sorry.
Man.
Again, Rob, the threat was not as severe as you're making it out to be. I don't mean to disagree with you.
So that wasn't a deadly threat?
I don't think so. I think if the police need to be able to gauge deadly threats better. Again, I
need to know what is your standard of a deadly threat? I have to know now.
I think the cops need to have some fucking idea what's going on. Otherwise, you get Tamir Rice. Oh, what's the dude in the apartment in Dallas? There's so many people I can't remember all the names. The guy that got shot in his own apartment by that Dallas cop.
Well, she wasn't even on duty. She walked into she broke into a place that that wasn't even her spot. And
Frank, you totally disagree that the cop should kill to just fucking shoot people all the time?
I feel like if you've never been in a situation where you've had to.
I'll give you this. This is the most justified cop shooting in a long while, and it still sucks.
Exactly. There we go.
And there's still a dead person, and again,
which it shouldn't have been.
Happens to be black again, but again, I'll put the race aside. I would love to see the cops learn how to not kill people.
Me
do
too.
Other things.
Non-lethal.
Less
than lethal.
Bigger lesson here. Yes. Fucking. There were better ways to handle this, but it seems like in every one of these situations, there's always a better way to handle it. And they're like, "Well, let's see you do the job." No, motherfucker, you do the fucking job and do it right. You don't get to fucking shoot people.
Very true.
It's not your fucking job. The cop was not in danger, and he doesn't know the situation enough to assess whether or not he was saving a life or making shit worse. And guess what? He made shit worse, as fucking usual. It's on them to do the job right. It's a hard job.
Exactly. So he had a hard decision to make. You can't say you would have made the right decision in that moment.
I wouldn't do it.
That's tough. Even once again, I totally disagree with the option he chose, but
people who make good decisions, and I don't feel like that's always the case.
But in that split of a second, what do you say? He gave all the commands, and this is coming from me. He gave all the commands. He tried to make an initial effort. He didn't even come with his gun, with his gun on it. He drew his weapon after he realized that she was attacking with a knife. Now, that's why I feel like maybe your taser should be on your fucking dominant side. And you know how they say, you wear your firearm on your dominant side and you're less than lethal on your non-dominant? Maybe you should put your less than lethal on your, you know what I'm saying? The taser less than lethal on your fucking dominant side. So you grab that first instead of,
That cop wasn't scared. That cop wasn't nervous.
He looked like the goofy type.
That cop.
Playing devil's advocate.
That cop, again, maybe in his mind, Rob, and in his heart, he thought he was saving that woman in the pink outfit. He really thought that, and I'm sure that's what we're going to hear afterwards.
I'm sure.
Okay. That they had to make a split-second decision, and
we're hearing that now, yeah.
And then, of course, they're going to tell you that Ma'Khia Bryant shouldn't have been stabbing people, which is true, but again. Everything I've read about Ma'Khia is she's a really good person. So why was she trying to stab people in front of the cops? Not only that, but her father, in front of the cops, kicked another teenager while she was on the ground. So I would say this, what happened before all this went down?
I'm just saying, any dude that's kicking a teenage girl, I definitely question your morals.
Must have done something pretty fucking wretched to get attacked with a knife.
Joe, they were sitting there talking face to face, and the other girl was close. The girl in the pink was closer to the cop. And the other two girls, they were face to face talking or arguing, and then she attacked. So, you can't tell me that you felt that much in danger, that you had the chance, that you felt secure enough to go get a knife and then come back, have a conversation, and then act brolic when the fucking cops pull up. Guess what? In real life, oh man, we'll have that. Yeah, in real life, that's what I call some real fake shit sometimes, because there's known to be some fake people that, guess what, they act big and tough when authorities come, when they know that things might, you know what I'm saying, they might get saved, or there might be certain situations. There's people that do that, Joe. And I'm sorry, the dad's a fucking bitch for two reasons. If we want to hold people accountable, the dad's a bitch for kicking a fucking young 15-year-old girl in the fucking face. I don't give a damn what the fuck was happening. You're a bitch. You should have let the mother do that shit. If the mom ain't doing it, you stay your grown ass there, because guess what? I don't give a damn if my girl was there to give your fucking daughter the fucking fisticuffs. You kick my fucking daughter in the fucking face, now me and you got an issue. If you want to come see somebody, come see me about my daughter. You don't go kicking my daughter in the fucking face. And that's something that people need to realize. Yo, you lose fights. You lose these hands. I'm sure that 2 girls just wasn't like, we gonna go beat Ma'Khia's ass for a reason. Sorry. I find it hard to believe that a 15-year-old was this fucking perfect angel. It's okay to sit there and say that she was probably popping her mouth. Does it give them the right to go and fucking jump her? No. But like, yeah, she was probably talking hella fucking shit. It happens. Does it justify them trying to go jump her and bring weapons? No. It shouldn't. But guess what? The other 2 girls didn't have weapons on them. I remember the rumors were saying that they had weapons. They didn't have weapons on them. They were there to beat her ass. Learn how to take a fucking ass whooping. If you don't know how to if you don't want to get punched in your mouth, watch your mouth. That's it. Not even say that's it, but it's just like, the dad's a fucking bitch. The fucking mother should have known better. Once you let that fucking daughter go back into safety and they go back outside to have a conversation, you obviously didn't feel that fucking threatened because you came back out with a fucking weapon to have a conversation. It's a hard, tricky ass decision to make. And unfortunately, there were a lot of bad decisions that led to this horrible, this horrible outcome. First and foremost, I blame the parents. Secondly, I blame Ma'Khia for making horrible fucking decisions. And then I blame the cop. Because it was the responsibility of those parents to keep Ma'Khia away from going back outside and from even letting her just sit there with a fucking knife. And then yes, the cop definitely could have made a better decision multiple times. From grabbing a taser to how many shots he fucking did. Because yes, that was excessive force. There was no need for 4 shots. Definitely trigger happy there. So if he would like, if there were to be charges, definitely charge him for excessive use of force, because that definitely needs to be charged for something. If something, that's what I would definitely advocate for. Maybe manslaughter, if that falls under
I think when you shoot 4 shots
wrongful
into
death,
somebody's back, your intent is murder.
Very
sorry
true.
to say. Again, like I pointed out, famous people shot in the back. And most of those were assassinations of some sort. I mean, you just don't do that. Again, you talked about non-lethal force, a taser, or shoot her in the fucking leg.
Yeah, and that was my first.
That would have really. Oh, did this guy just shoot me? Fuck.
Yeah.
Better, much better. 4 into the back. I mean, you're trying to kill that person. You would never shoot somebody 4 times in the back to stop them. That is horseshit. That's my point. Again, to me, this is just the police. Again, they're always looking to unload their guns on people. I don't like that.
I can agree with that.
A buddy of mine, or earlier this week, gave me some shit. He watched the show and he hated it. And he was like, what's that shit you're saying? And I'm like, dude.
He probably hates himself.
Why are you saying that? You don't want the police to have a really high fucking standard at their job. I know it's hard, and you know what? If you're going to tell me, hey, they only make $50,000 a year, here's what I say. That's fucking horrible. The police should be really well compensated. Because, and this is why, Rob, I would never do that job. I would never put my life on the line every day for you fucking people. And I mean all of you. Fuck off.
No, yeah.
I don't really give a shit.
For $52,000 a year and then a bunch of overtime and then fuck up my family and all that other shit, I'm good.
And then listen, you throw in the personalities and the racists and the fucking gun trigger people, and this is what you get. You get people, listen, if you want people that make good decisions, well, this is a person that for $47K is going to risk their life every day. This is already a person who's not making good decisions.
Touche. And I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all.
I've been saying this for a while now. I'll say it again. I have the utmost respect for the police, and I really do a lot, and I understand what a hard job it is, and I know a lot of women that are married to police officers as well, and I know how defensive they are of the cops. Listen, everybody should go home at the end of the day. The cops and the bad guys, if you will. You know, again, if somebody pulls a gun on a cop and the cop shoots him right here I'm like, that's heroism. That's a hero cop, right? That's a cop that made that, and he, bam, I love that. But if somebody got a traffic ticket and you put 4 bullets into the side of their head, I mean, what the fuck? Where did you did something wrong as the cop? Well, the guy wasn't complying. Okay, but it was a traffic ticket and 4 bullets?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That does not equal up to me.
Point. Very good point.
Everybody wants to go home at the end of the day. Everybody. I understand some people don't act right. There's lots of reasons why. Again, I would just say, like with some of this racist stuff, I think there's some mental issues going on here. I think a lot of these people have mental disorders. I think Sandra Bland had some shit going on that day. I don't know if she was in the midst of a nervous breakdown, but it seemed like she was having a bad day.
Yes,
and then ended up dead. You shouldn't die because you're having a fucking bad day.
But you can't go around trying to stab people either, Joe.
You can't go around what?
You can't go around trying to stab people either, Joe.
Yeah, no, you're. I listen.
And that's just the accountability.
I understand what you're saying, and that was wrong. As I've said before, if Makai was walking around with a fucking machine gun and just unloading on the neighborhood, oh, well, all right, hero cop, take her out. But she had a steak knife that she was trying to stab clearly somebody who was doing some bullshit, and I went after the other one. Again, if I'm a cop, I'm thinking, oh, these people must have done some crazy shit that I'm telling this girl to stop or I'm going to shoot her, and she still wants to stick that bitch with a steak knife.
Or maybe she didn't hear. He didn't.
Right? They would never consider the fact that somebody could be, I don't know, fucking deaf. Because I'll tell you a funny story. In Utah, about 5 years ago, there was a deaf kid who walked out of a convenience store, white kid, deaf. And the cop tried to get his attention, and the dude didn't. What do you want me for? I'm not. And he just turned around, and he walked away. Cop pulled out his gun, and it was like, if you don't stop, I'm going to fucking shoot you.
See, that's that bullshit.
Take one more step, and this kid has no idea what he's done wrong because he can't fucking hear, but the cop, they wouldn't even consider that. And he fucking unloaded his gun into that kid's back and killed him.
Jeez.
Because he was deaf. This is what I'm talking about. They have to stop shooting people. You got to get a little more information. You know, the U.S. Marshals have unlimited jurisdiction. They can go anywhere, out of the anywhere they want. But do you know what the Marshals do? I mean, they don't just kick your fucking doors in with the guns. You know what they do?
What's that?
They verify that you're in the house.
Oh, so better than Chicago PD.
When you see shit shows where it goes wrong, Breonna Taylor, that's not the U.S. Marshals. Okay? U.S. Marshals don't fuck around. They have to confirm that you're in the house. They need to make a visual. They're going to know where you're at before they kick that door in. Again, when you get your bullshit local SWAT team, that's when shit goes left quick and there's shootouts and people are sleeping and people in the next house are taking bullets to the head. I mean, not every cop is meant to be like a tactical unit squad guy.
Very true.
So, again, the training has to be better. The reactions have to be better. The decision-making has to be better. We shouldn't be defunding the police. We should be spending more money on the police, training these guys on how to do a better job. Because, again, I want all the cops to live. You're very brave for the job that you do. I'm always very respectful to the police. I appreciate what they do. I criticize them because they're shooting too many fucking people. I mean, Rob, we could do a show a day on the next person they fucking killed.
It seems like that's been like the trend for like the past 3-4 weeks.
And listen, we're not even talking about any of the people that they shot that had it fucking coming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those too.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
I don't like this. I understand that she shouldn't have been stabbing people. some crazy shit was going on. Again, to me, the cops got to have a little bit more information before you unload your gun.
Yeah.
I like to think that you would know the people's names before you're shooting people. Again, dude, like shooting a gun at somebody probably means they're dying if you put the bullet in the right spot. You should know their name and what happened before you shoot them if you're a policeman. That's all I'm saying.
I like that.
I like the cops. I like BLM. I'm down with both groups.
You down with OPP?
Cop standards got to go up. BLM, good group.
Yeah.
Again, I think the cops need to make amends with that group.
Well, that group has to figure out its leadership and how is that leader getting millions of dollars and $1 million homes. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah.
Regardless of the organization, the movement itself, I would like to see the police be like, listen, we've been kind of lynching and playing slave master since the beginning of the country, and then it became like the sheriff system, and now it's a literal police force. It's been steeped in racism from the get-go. The abuse of power within the police structure has always been there. Okay? It's 2021, right? We've been a country for like a long ass time now. I think it's time that we get this shit figured out. I mean, the cops have always killed people, and there's always been like controversy around some of these killings, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Again, I'm always sympathetic to the cops. It's a tough job. It requires balls that I don't have. It does. I thought about being a cop when I was younger, and I was like, fuck that shit. I'm not getting fucking killed for people. Ain't worth it. They're ungrateful.
That's why I'm not
true. We're ungrateful and we take it for granted.
That's why
when the cops go up, we're like, fuck the police. But we did call them because we need them because there's some shit going down. And when that happens, that's what we all do. We call the cops because they can fix it. And they can. So again, show up. They have to learn to calm down.
And not be so triggered.
I mean, listen, everybody knows when a cop gets killed is bad. Okay? I don't know, maybe there's some crazy Antifa people that are like, yeah. Nobody feels good when cops get shot.
No.
And I hope everybody understands that no one the flags go down immediately when a cop gets shot. But when the cop shoots some fucking random asshole, it's like, well, they had it fucking coming. Warrants, they should have put the knife down. They should have not sold those cigarettes or DVDs or passed that fake. Fuck off. Stop saying it's okay for the cops to murder people for shit that shouldn't get you murdered. I will never say yes to that.
Fair enough.
If you turn that fucking knife at the cop and he shot you, great. Now you're a threat to the policeman. That's when the policeman gets to unload his fucking gun on you. But not before that.
Fair enough. All right.
I don't know, Rob. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I want more.
No, you're not. I'm not saying you're wrong, Roy. I think that it's very tough. It's a very tough situation, I think. So, I wanted...
But wouldn't you, I mean, seriously, think about this, Rob, from that standpoint of, if I'm fighting you in front of the cops, the cops are there, and they're like trying to calm me down, and I'm like, I'm going to get this motherfucker. Like, wait, what did that guy do that I'm like, I know the cops are here, and they might shoot me, but I'm going to stab you with this fucking steak knife because I'm pissed.
But, like, why? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the cops are there.
What did you do, though?
Like, the cops are there. What are you about to do now? Like, that's
what I'm saying. So, Micaiah and her father were clearly fired up, even with the cops there that they called. So, again, there had to be something else going on.
I'm not taking that away. I'm sure they were there to beat Micaiah up. They were there to fuck Micaiah up. Point blank, period. When you go into your house and leave the sanctity of your house with a weapon, you have now opened up a whole nother can of fucking worms. And you know that the cops are there. Once you see the cops are there, because I know you hear them coming, because in the 911, like, you can hear the fucking cops coming. So, like, make a better decision. We can sit there and make all the excuses of the cop and all this, but she made horrible decisions. She made a horrible decision. Her parents let her make a horrible decision. Her parents made a horrible decision letting her do that shit. And that's where, like, it's just like, we can't just sit there and blame the cop on this one. We can't. This is just not on the cop. I get it. It sucks losing a fucking a daughter. It sucks, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks that she was getting her ass beat. It sucks. But the accountability part. Joe, if you, like, just like if somebody was at my yard and decided to come up on my yard and was like, hey, fuck you, motherfucker, and punch me in my face. If I go inside, call the cops, and then come outside to re-engage, who's wrong?
No, I know.
I don't know. I don't want to stay on this too long. Told myself it was only going to be 2 hours, but here we are, 2:30 almost.
We can't help it.
Fucking jeez, can't help it. But I had we need to reach out to our youth to fight with bare knuckles. Only weapons are for simple-minded people.
I agree with that.
I can get with that. I can definitely get with that. Shit, there was one. Oh well, fuck it. I'll save it for next week. But I got some questions, some outro questions. What were your dating standards when you were growing up, like when you were younger?
Willing.
That was
mostly
it.
it.
Just
Yeah.
willing. All right.
Pretty much. If you liked me,
it was a fair game.
Yeah, we're good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as long as you weren't. Put it like this: my standard was whatever I knew my friends wouldn't be like. Oh my god, because that happened to me in the 10th grade rather. I started dating this girl, and we literally just started dating at lunch. We made it official. And in like study hall, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm dating this girl. And somebody was like, that girl's nasty. I think she had herpes. And I was like, no, I'm just playing. We're not really together.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, dude.
How long before y'all broke up?
We weren't even on the bus. We didn't
Oh,
even get to
jeez.
the bus before I ended that shit.
Jeez, done. That's crazy.
Yeah. If I'm going to get laughed at you, then no.
Then no.
Definitely not. Yeah. So it's that's the standard. You're not getting laughed at by my friends.
There you go. All right.
How about you? What were your standards?
I don't want to say I had like a standard. It was pretty much like whoever liked me. Like if you gave me attention and you gave me that vibe, perfect. There we go. We'll make it work.
I've tried to make that not how I live the rest of my life, because that's how it was when I was younger, into my 20s. I was like, why is it only the girl that's like, I like you? I'm like, all right, I'll date you.
Yep. And that's what it was. And that I think that's, and even so me, it's going to suck, but she doesn't listen to this shit anyway, so fuck it. I don't give a fuck at this point. Anyway, oh god, this is gonna sound so toxic, but fuck it. Like girls I dated in the past, like that's why I've stayed in so many, well, not so many relationships, but like after the fact, like, oh, I'm not in a relationship anymore. And some girls like, hey, I like you, and I'm like, all right, cool, we're with it. I can commit to you for a while, like.
Rob, I remember I was 22. I was at a bar. And I looked across the room and I saw a super hot chick, and she got up and she walks right over to me. And I'm like, oh, damn. And she looks at me and she goes, are you single? And I was like, yes, I am. And she goes, because my fat, ugly friend over here is totally into you.
No! Did you go say hi?
I dated the girl for like 3 months.
There you go. Hell yeah. Had a good time out of it. There you go.
I did, and then eventually I was like, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Why am I doing this? Are you insane? Because she was like, I'll sleep with you, and I was like, you're my girlfriend.
You're my girlfriend. Hey, fuck
Easy
it.
breezy. Done.
This is
just
done.
like
Yeah.
that.
Just like that.
amazing.
Gotta stop that. If you have similar stories, or you want to share your experience with the your first standards when you were growing up, make sure you hit us up on our hotline 860-342-8711. You might hear yourself on next week's episode. Outside of that, we had one more question real quick. Could you go 11 years without sex?
No. I mean, under what do I win?
Just let's say for every year that you go, you get $1 million.
Is there masturbation involved, or is it?
It just says sex. I don't think masturbation is sex, because that was my ticket out.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
oh shit, I don't need sex. I'm good.
$11 million? Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah. All right, cool. We're on the same boat.
And then I'll have $11 million. And then I'll
Exactly.
be able to go out there and get all the ladies I want because they like the money.
The money. I think after like 11 years of like not having sex with women, I'll just be like, I'm good. I got all this money. I can like literally lose this 11 million slower if I'm just not out having sex with y'all now. Like now this is 11 million is all to me. Like I don't have to waste maybe 3 million on tricking off on girls. So
I feel like we only talk about this stuff when Devonna stops watching.
It's a good thing. It's a good
You
thing.
know what I mean? Like I would have been like, Rob, my standard when I was younger, well, it was a respectful, smart. That's what I would have said.
Yeah. So somebody even recommended that we should do I'll Piss You Off Shortly, like our regular show for like an hour and a half, and then switch it to like I'll Piss You Off Shortly, like unedited, where we really like, and maybe do that on like a Patreon. I said that actually sounds interesting.
I like
and
that.
charge for that, like for the unedited. I said that's the conversations that we usually have after the show. I said those are the conversations, the real good ones, the juicy ones. But
you'd love to hear those people.
Well, if you want to hear those, make sure you guys are hitting us up on our on all of our social media profiles. Make sure you're tagging, spending that digital currency. Like I said, if you want to spend some real digital currency or some Bitcoin, make sure you hit us up at $ I'll Piss You Off Shortly on Cash App. Outside of that, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Comments were lit today. Appreciate you guys as always. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at I'll Piss You Off Shortly. And yeah, make sure you guys catch us every Monday night at 9 p.m. So for Rob Benjamin, Joe Aguirre, Clovercrest Media Group, this has been a good night. I'll Piss You Off Shortly. Take it easy.
I'm gonna get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly.